Welcome into the Cam and Strick Podcast. How was your Christmas?
Dude, I slept 14-hour nights. Does that mean I'm healthy? Yeah, Cam, you're healthy. No. That means Kate and I got up, had mimosas, a couple of Bloody Marys, maybe a Clamato. I don't give a fuck. Then I went to my parents' house and ate food for 6 hours straight. Then I drank more, and then Kate and I went to bed at 7:30.
What's a Clamato? And what do you put in that? What do you put in a Clamato?
What'd you say to
What's
me?
a Clamato? Is that with like that
50% of our customers? Wait, time out. 50% of our audience is Canadian, and you know what a Clamato
is?
Juice
That what you put in the Caesar?
Is
that what you put in the Caesar?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Clamato juice.
We call it tomato juice.
No, we call it.
That's what we call it in my neighborhood.
No, we got my. What neighborhood? The fancy lad fuck neighborhood? They don't even know what the fuck that is.
Okay, can I just say something to you?
What?
This guy is on the podcast. It's recorded. Everyone heard it. He's like, oh, I got Kate a picture of a castle. You didn't tell me you were going to draw it on a
wasn't
card.
it. No.
That is so embarrassing. You drew the picture like a 2-year-old. Ty draws better than that.
I'm a child.
That's what you gave her for Christmas? You drew a picture?
Oh, God, I'm pathetic.
And then she posted on social media.
Oh,
I thought it was a nice gesture.
Listen.
Laurie actually, I think she maybe teared up a little bit. It was very romantic. She liked it. She thought it was nice. She thought it was sweet. But she also thought she thought you got her something else, too. I said, no, this is all he got her.
Hey, dick fuck. I did.
Oh, you
I
did?
draw and write like a fucking 4-year-old, okay? I don't give a shit. I thought about that card, and the card you didn't see because she opened up and blurred out the fucking note that I was like,
what was on the note?
I said, you're sexy as shit, girl, and I got you a castle, and we making love in about 2.5 weeks. That's what I said.
Oh, you got to wait 2.5 weeks?
Yeah, because it got close. Mm-hmm. But then I drew a castle like a 4-year-old. Not a smart 4-year-old, by the way. A dumb 4-year-old. But I drew that, and then she posted it, and everybody's like, oh, cool. Did your 2-year-old draw that? And everybody's like, no, that's my husband.
Did your cat draw? Like, why? She does. That's what you got her for Christmas?
No. But that's what she liked the most. That's how pathetic I am.
Okay, what else did you get her?
I got her a picture of a castle.
But like you said, you spent like $500 on the picture.
Yeah, I did. It was like $500. It's a picture of like a castle in Scotland. Because, well, like the house we just bought, like I got her a fucking house for Christmas, basically. Like
okay, she helped you with the house too.
Totally.
She does work.
Totally.
She sold a house.
She sold a house. Her parents like work on my house left and right. Like we had the money, we're okay. Like I did have a drug problem, but we're fine. But the point is, I don't know what to get her because if I get her clothes, like she's so meticulous on everything where I'm like, it doesn't work. And I've seen her mom do that too, so I'm like, I can't do that. So then I'm gonna have to draw you a fucking picture. And then I have to give you a picture of a castle, and then maybe write a check for like $3,000 and put it on my cat's fucking collar.
Okay.
Then, what?
Okay.
All
right, we're done with that.
Okay.
Why do you barbecue at 9:00 in the morning? Like you'll send me pictures. You're barbecuing.
Does that mean I'm like alcoholic?
With like celery.
Yeah.
It's like 30 degrees outside. I'm like, are you freezing that?
I fucked that
or
up.
are you barbecuing it? What are you doing with that?
I fucked that up too. I fuck up so much shit. It's unbelievable. So I got like a pork belly, which I like pork belly. Sometimes you want to do pork belly bites. Sometimes you cut them up and like put brown sugar on them bad boys and cook them for 5 hours. No, Cam, you're going to do it the right way this time. So I took a bunch of veggies. I put it down on a thing. I took a pork belly. I let it thaw out. I seared the fatty skin part. So you put salt on that bad boy. And then when you cook it at a high temperature, it gets crusty.
Oh, does it?
Yes. And then you turn it down to 350.
How did it come out?
I fucked it up so bad.
It was terrible?
It was so bad. I'm pumping up. My neighbors are all smelling the shit. And I'm walking around in my fucking robe like, what's up, everybody? I'm only here for 2 more weeks, but I'm going to cook for all y'all. And then I put so much salt on that goddamn thing that when I cooked it, I took a bite of it. I'm like, I'm like, oh, God. I threw it away. I didn't even give it to my Hoosier neighbors.
You threw it away?
No, I didn't. My Hoosier neighbors,
they
probably have a paycheck.
Parents or anything?
No, I didn't even give it to my fucking parents.
And
they're the biggest Hoosiers of the whole subdivision.
What was it? Well, maybe because it was like 20 degrees outside.
It was salty.
Okay.
I put too much salt in the goddamn thing, or I took a bite of it. I'm like, my parents are gonna have a heart attack or something.
What did you get for Christmas? Anything?
A lump of coal, as usual.
Okay, today I will say this: like normally you wear the same exact clothes,
everything.
Although your shirt is the same, but that's okay. We got to do a video today.
Yeah.
So we'll keep it handsome with the Fight Ugly hoodie.
Yeah.
You got new shoes.
No, these
You've never worn. Are those Kate shoes?
I don't know what
they're like. Tennis shoes.
People give me shoes.
You have them like
my feet are kind of
tied
deformed.
all fancy.
No, they're tied the same way that I bought them. Andy, thank you. You think I get fancy tie?
I don't know.
What the fuck do I look
like? You did it on your own.
I fucked up a pork belly. Here's the deal. I get shit all the time, and then it doesn't look right on me.
You have a scarf?
I got a scarf on.
Is that a Louis scarf or no?
No, it's expensive.
Is it?
And it smells good. Here's the point. I look like shit, but I have clothes, but my feet are big, my hands are big, my muscles are big too. So when I wear things, like I look disproportionate with shit, so that like I'm picky. So I have a bunch of clothes in my closet, but I wear the same thing every day because it looks good on me because I'm jacked, Andy.
Oh, are you?
That's why. If I look like you, I'd wear everything. Fuck's sake. I wear Kate's fucking clothes.
Did you work out at all during the weekend? I mean, did you just like eat a shit ton of food? That's Andy, how I feel. I ate and ate and ate. Didn't stop eating.
Andy, you have children. I don't. I drink in the morning.
How early do you start?
Oh God, we start drinking early.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
With the tomato juice?
Oh, clamato, baby. What's up, Kate? You're okay. I get up early because that's what I do. I get up early, and then Kate sleeps till about 10:30. She can sleep till the cows come home, and then I'll wake her ass up, and I'll have a Bloody Mary for her. Coffee, first coffee. Actually, no, time out.
Well, you have the Bloody Mary before coffee.
No.
You bringing that to bed?
No, I get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, have my coffee, then my Pedialyte. So I drink my coffee, then I crush Pedialyte, like whoop, blop, blop, blop. And if you don't crush Pedialyte, you're a cheap ass. If you're an alcoholic, you drink Pedialyte because it makes you normal the next day. But then...
When do you drink it?
In the morning. After my coffee.
Pedialyte's terrible.
It's so good.
It has no taste.
It makes me feel refreshed, like I'm healthy.
It's like for babies, right?
Yes, okay. Exactly. Exactly. But the point is, coffee, Pedialyte, and then I fix her a fucking cocktail, and I'll put some fucking celery in that bad boy. I'll salt the motherfucking rim. I'll be like, what's up, girl? And then she'll start drinking, and I'll start drinking. And then by noon, we go to my parents' house, and oh, God, you go to their fucking house. Who knows what you're doing? And then we're doing this, doing that. And
Did they come over for Christmas?
Well, we go over there. Cause no one's coming to my house.
Nancy and Dennis, they get any gifts?
They hook me up with everything possible. I'm so spoiled, it's unbelievable.
I know, but do you get them anything?
Yes. I give them my love and my entertainment. They listen to me on the radio every single day. They listen to me on a podcast every day. Maybe on TV once in a while. Maybe they watch you on TV, Andy. That's their fucking gift.
Do they still YouTube you? Like do they?
Yeah. They'll have people over and be like, this is my son. He's psycho.
He's acting psycho. He just ripped his jersey off in the penalty box, acting like an absolute psychopath.
Look at my son.
Oh no, my God.
They're not even allowed to go to Schnucks anymore because they had talked to the people working there about me for 45 minutes.
Can we talk about our new setup here? We're in our office.
Yeah.
The people here, they love us. We walk in, they come out, they peek their heads out the doors.
They carry us in.
They're like, "Ooh, welcome." They carry us in. What? We wondered where you've been. Where have you been? The ladies,
they throw
everybody.
Roses
they
out.
do. They
like,
do. There's like roses in the hallway as we're walking down into the room. It's amazing. So we appreciate the reception that we get here.
Well, treat me like fucking Cleopatra.
From our fancy lad office we have in Clayton.
Although she was kind of a weirdo, Cleopatra, back in the day.
Was she?
Yeah, she was with Mark Antony, and she was kind of a hua, a little bit of a hua, which is fine. But then she banged Mark Antony, and then she killed herself, which is really cool.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
is that really? Is that in the book?
What fucking book? The Bible?
Like
I don't fucking know.
No one's ever heard that.
Why don't you do what?
No one's ever heard that side of it. Is that how the story goes? Have you heard that before? No one's heard that.
Motherfucker. Do you know history?
No, you're like making stuff up.
No, I'm not.
You shouldn't make stuff up that has to do with history because you shouldn't impact how people view history.
I don't think you know shit about shit, homeboy.
That might be true.
You don't know shit about shit. Mark Antony was a psychopath.
Wasn't he married to J-Lo?
No, but Gaius Julius Caesar was banging out fucking Cleopatra, but she didn't get pregnated because some other fucking meatball banged her out, and then they had a kid, and then like she didn't like fucking Caesar, and so she started banging Mark Antony, and then they killed each other, which is awesome, in my opinion. Okay. I think that's a cool fucking story.
Real quick before we move on, you sold your house too.
Yeah.
Congrats on that. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
And it's an older lady. Right? She came in.
She wanted my jockstrap, which is fine. And I go, look, $1,500.
Did you leave one out for her?
Yeah, I did. A dirty one, which that's what she wanted. But the point is, I was at my mommy and daddy's, which is right next door, which is so nerdy.
I know. Your aunt lives next to them. It's really embarrassing.
I'm
so excited for you to move out on your own for the first time since you ever, really.
So they're at my house. I'm at my parents' house. My mom and dad are bugging the fuck out of me. Why is going? How's Kate? Stop talking to me. Fuck. Fucking chilling. I got to do my fucking notes. I got goddamn Aaron Asham on. I got my fucking. Stop talking to me. God damn. Go walk the dogs again. So here's the deal. They're next door, and they keep banging on my parents' door for me to go back over there to talk to them about like where's the like. The handle for the one fan in the room. I'm like, okay, hey guys, how you doing? Then the lady that bought my house like, so what'd you guys do here you were here since you were 19? So what'd you guys do? I'm like, do you really want to know? She's like, if walls could talk, what would they say? And I'm like, wait, you just asked me that question? The ladies buying my house asked me if the walls could talk. And I'm like, I mean, it'd probably up the value. Because you'd be entertained.
What would the walls be saying? I don't get this. You know,
Cam's a beautiful man. He sucks at hockey because I'm watching him in the basement shooting pucks. I did break a window down there, and I'm gonna have to fix that fucking
recently.
Thing. No, about 3 years ago.
I started doing that recently.
Breaking windows?
Well, no, I've got my new net that I got for Ty. And
I hope you're using that.
Oh my God, I'm using it.
I'm gonna look at that net. If there's no black marks on that motherfucker, I'm pissed at you.
You have no idea. It's like all of a sudden I feel like I'm a little kid. You know, you get that feeling. You call it like a euphoric high.
Yes.
When you're stick handling and shooting.
Yeah. No heroin, no cocaine. Euphoric.
No, it's like a euphoric high that you get from like playing hockey in your garage or your basement.
It is, homie.
And I hadn't experienced that since I was a little kid because I grew up and I stopped doing that.
Yeah. You didn't have a daddy. You didn't have a daddy. We know.
Yeah, but now I have a kid and I play hockey with him and that's how I feel. I get the euphoric high from playing hockey in the driveway.
Do you get the euphoric high when Ty's playing Barbies with his older sister? No, I'm fucking serious. No. Are you putting your foot down?
Oh, he would never do that. He wouldn't even.
What do you mean? I listened to him when I talked to you. They're playing Barbies.
No, they're
and
not
then I yell at you. I go, get your fucking ass in the basement now.
And I wouldn't have a problem if he did. But first off,
they gotta do it for a little bit. But I'm just saying.
No, but he won't do it. He won't.
You do then. Are you the one doing it? He's probably like, Daddy, why are you so nerdy?
If I've got to play with my girls, sure, I'll do whatever it takes, man.
He's probably like, hey, Daddy, can you come down to the basement and fucking do one-ease with me?
He wouldn't even eat Ivy's birthday cake because it was Barbie birthday cake. He wouldn't eat it. He got his own ice cream, actually.
Can I ask you a question?
And brought it to the party, yeah.
Is he not eating Ivy's birthday cake because it's not gluten-free?
Well, maybe.
Because if that's the case, I'm fucking smacking you so goddamn fast.
Could be. I'm like, Ty, there's too much sugar in that.
Holy.
You need to have
Jesus, Andy. Come on.
You need to have fast twitch muscles. Kid. You need to have fast twitch muscles.
Daddy, can't I have sugar? No. I want you to eat grass and kale. Fuck.
What? Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. All these NHL players.
Is he a cow?
Well, no, they're all
grazing.
A lot of these guys are plant-based, baby.
Oh, who? Alexander Steen, who just retired?
Jonathan Taves.
Oh, is he?
Plant-based.
You want to bet?
Yeah.
You want to bet that motherfucker if we went out to fucking Hugo Frog's bar in fucking Chicago, he ain't going to get a fat-ass steak? Get on with this. You want to bet on it?
Well, yeah, because he's plant-based.
Oh, yeah. He's fucking. I won 3 Stanley Cups eating meat, but I'm gonna be fucking plant-based.
Yeah, now he's plant. How many cups have you won since you went plant-based?
Fuck out of here.
Is that the question you'd ask?
Just like Ryan O'Reilly's like, I'm plant-based now. Will you want a cup?
Ryan O'Reilly's plant-based too.
Yeah. And since when? He won the cup?
So is Paul Stastny.
Oh yeah. He's got a sick body, Paulie.
There's
the fuck out of here.
I love Paulie. He listens to every episode.
I know he does. Well, take it like it, Paulie.
Come on now, Paulie.
Now, Yanni, a different story.
Yanni, he may not be plant-based. I don't know if Yanni
You know
is.
what I'm talking about. Yanni's cut to shit, and Paulie looks sloppy.
Yanni's going to look like that till he's like 55, 60 years old.
It's like his daddy. He's got his daddy's body.
It's like genetic. It's genetic.
Big Pete.
Yes.
Pistol Pete walks in the locker room. When he gets naked, you're like, God damn, you man, motherfucker. Like, holy fuck. Guys. Rob Ramage, I saw him naked the other day.
Ramage looks like he could play right now.
And then you see Mike Zook naked, and you're like, oh, God.
Don't call out Zuki. We had to cut that out last time. We don't want to have to do that again. I mean, that is just, we love Zuki.
We love you, Zuki.
Makes great apparel here in town.
Zuki, I love you so much.
Good
but when Rammer gets naked compared to you, it's just no good.
Well, Rammer, he's taking care of himself.
He looks really good.
I mean, he looks like, and I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of Rammer either.
He'll fucking choke. He wants to choke you out. He wants you to slash him in a weird way. And
no, I wouldn't do it.
So it's so funny there.
So no, listen,
Rammer listens to all this.
I know, and he was skating. We were skating last Wednesday when I pulled my groin.
You don't have a groin.
On a beautiful pass from Andy McDonald, cross-size pass. I would have scored.
If I had a groin, I would have scored.
So, like 2 shifts into the game, Rammer left. And I'm like,
that's what he told me. So
why did he leave?
So here's the deal, dudes. I love all you guys, by the way, especially you fucking Canadian guys. What's up?
Why did he leave?
So we have the best alumni skate ever.
Was it not a good enough skate?
Let me explain it.
Yeah.
All you Canadian boys, we all love you. You guys all have these badass
outdoor
backyard
rinks.
Fucking rinks.
Where
I want to hang out.
Where are these lakes that you're skating with? Like
Andy,
the most pristine Rocky Mountains in the background.
They're
it's like,
everywhere.
Take me there.
When you're
now.
in Alberta, when you're in fucking Saskatchewan,
I'm officially naming Canada the most beautiful country in the world, man.
So beautiful. These Canadians who are the fucking
in
coolest,
your chill zone with your Bud Light seltzer, your mango,
the funniest, coolest. I don't give a fuck, people. Where I'll just have my beer. My wife loves me. My kids are fucking pure.
And they're
eating
cool. Butter tarts.
They're eating butter tarts, and they're in the backyard. Fucking the guy makes he's driving trucks down Alberta's highways, and he's got
and they're calling each other like hosers and everything, and they just love each other.
And they sit in their backyard listening to fucking like Pink Floyd, and they're playing hockey. Or they're listening.
They're watching like Trailer Park Boys or something.
Or they're listening to like what's the big Canadian? Oh, Rush or like
they're listening to
Rush or what's the band?
I know he just passed away. Gord passed away.
What's his name?
How do you not remember that? You see, you put me on the spot, which I would always know this.
Oh my God!
Tragically Hip. Come on now.
Hip.
Jesus. Andy. Thank God I remember that. I didn't look that up either. So please tell the listeners.
Andy,
Tragically
our
Hip.
Our Canadian listeners are going to kill me on this one. Tragically Hip.
I can't believe you forgot that.
I'm just saying,
by the way.
all you motherfuckers. Yeah. I don't give a fuck how much money you make. You fucking...
Maybe they're listening to Drake. They could be listening to Drake.
I don't give a fuck about Drake. Stop confusing me. Fucking Drake, stupid ass. Give a shit about his music. Tragically Hip? Fuck yeah. But these guys, they don't make that much money. They fucking grind it all week long. And they build a rink in their backyard.
At the base of a mountain.
With music, and their kids are out there with happiness, with minus 40-degree weather, and they're happy, not on their computer.
Can you send us some of these pictures of these rinks?
Why do I love all you guys so much?
And the problem is, like, we got a sick-ass picture yesterday. It was like maybe Michigan, Wisconsin.
No, it was Wisconsin.
And they had the Bud
Troy
Light seltzer.
Oh, yeah. Or no, Peter Hall. Petey Hall.
And he had the Bud Light seltzer, the mango.
Fucking mango.
Just right there. That's where I need to be. So I was talking to some
people. Move there.
Well, I mean, maybe we will. Can we do this on Zoom?
No, not yet. I don't got the equipment in my new house yet.
No, but you're right, man. That's what they do up in Canada. They just know how to handle the winter.
God, why do I just look up to you guys so much? Because
they're so much better than us.
They're so much better than us in so many ways. Like, we're so undisciplined. We're so fucking egotistical down here, including myself. Me.
Road rage.
Money. Me. With these fucking guys are grinding it 50 hours a fuck week, driving
What's
trucks.
What's your favorite part of Canada? Can you name one?
I like the Saskatchewan boys. I want
Sasky
them,
boys.
I want the fucking Saskatchewan boys. They're fucking shit kickers. That fucking booze. They fucking treat their family awesome.
Hold on, let's go around. What about Manitoba?
I like Manitoba boys. They're hardcore as fuck.
They're hardcore too.
They're hardcore. Fucking man, I watch all.
That's like where the prairies are at, dude.
All my shit kicker buddies, man. Fucking Morasti and Yablonsky and Gillies and Scryzy and all the.
Are they all Manitoba?
Well, Scryzy down at Orlando, but all these guys. They're
from where? Orlando.
Yeah, but I just put him in there because he's my thing. But the point is, these old school Canadian guys, man, like Morasti. John Morasti, one of the toughest guys ever to play the game. Is
he from Manitoba?
He is the shit kickers of all shit kicker. He goes up there. He takes his family on horseback riding, negative 50 degrees. The kids are happy. You're going down in 50-degree weather, and the kids are
put
bitching.
On your vest. Not even your coat. Put your vest on.
Not even a hat on, Andy. And then they go find a lake that's frozen shut. They go ice fishing.
Yes.
They catch the fish. They make a fucking fire. And then they camp
with their hands.
With horses.
I know, it's amazing.
And I can't even go down to my basement and get a beer.
No.
Well, because
you're too cold.
I'm too cold. I have my cat do it.
Let's bounce around. Alberta.
They're fucking badass.
They are too.
It's the same thing, Andy.
Ontario?
Yeah. Except for the Toronto people. No,
come on. I can't believe you'd say that. Why would you say that about Toronto?
Well, it's just a big city.
We love Toronto. We got a lot of listeners from Toronto.
I like old school cats, man. I like old school. Like, fuck, I could take a horse and fucking go make a fire.
George Pappas, the attorney.
Sure. Yeah.
Our guy.
Jorge.
That's our boy.
Damn right. I call him Jorge.
Do you?
Yes. Well, now I do. Here's the point.
Okay, hold on. Quebec.
Quebec's beautiful.
It's like I love Montreal.
I'm getting a lot of Quebec people texting me, by the way.
They're super nice people, too.
I got a lot of Quebec people texting me.
About what?
And Cameron, we love you from Quebec.
No, I don't think you're getting any of this.
You want me to show you one?
Yeah, you're not getting any of this.
Okay, fine. You guys, okay, we'll say right now, all you Quebec people, all you Canadians, send me a fucking shout out and fucking bash Andy.
Why do you want that? Come on now.
Because you just said I don't get any
terrible.
of it.
We're all about fighting ugly, and we're all about.
Well, you're ugly right now.
And now you're trying to promote bullying tactics, which is not what we're all about.
We can't chirp each other. No, time out. They're not. Wait, time out. Are they bullying? What are they bullying you about?
I don't know.
They're going to be like, Andy, you don't know shit. That's not bully, okay?
Well, you don't even know who Tragically Hip is. So
yes, I do. Well, I just said it.
You didn't.
Yeah, but that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and you certainly
I could read minds, can't you?
You don't know jazz. You don't know bluegrass. You don't know hip hop. You really don't know as much as you think you do. I mean, honestly,
a little fancy
reggae. You don't know reggae.
Look, I'm looking at my engineer right now.
Everybody's sending me like video clips of like reggae music. They know what's up.
I'm looking at my engineer right now. And Andy's from the wealthy part of fucking Wealthyville in St. Louis. And he's like, I know hip hop. I'm a fucking gangster.
No, I didn't say that.
Fuck you talking about. Those fucking gangsters will look at you, listen to their shit, and be like, you're a fucking nerd. Keep buying my shit. That's what they're going to say.
Like who? Like Drake?
Like not Drake. I don't buy that little shit. Nerd boy from Toronto.
I don't buy that.
No, I'm talking about hardcore St. Louis fucking North County motherfuckers.
No,
they're looking at you like, oh, thank you for buying my shit. You little, I'm gonna.
Well, like who?
Get out of here.
I mean, who? They're
all my fucking
putting music out. And putting music out.
Well, they're like, gee, thanks, Andy. Like, you know, gangster.
You're so secluded in your little area. Like,
where are you from?
You don't even have woods.
You're from the
I spent the day in the woods yesterday. By the way, you know I did.
No, you did. Castlewood
on the Merrimack River.
What the fuck?
That's the Merrimack. You're nowhere to be found yesterday when I'm in the woods.
I was drinking
at
home with my wife.
With the family.
Making love.
With the family.
The fuck out of here. What, do you want to go walk with my non-kids somewhere?
Good pictures, though, eh? Good pictures.
Yeah, but you're acting like you're walking in the wilderness where John Moraski's having his fucking like ice fishing contest.
No, I can relate to that.
I can
relate to that.
No, you can't.
I do the same thing.
No, you can't.
I was in the woods yesterday all day long.
No, you weren't.
And I had fires going all weekend long, too.
In your backyard in Wealthyville of Wealthyville. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, listen. Mike Hoffman signs a PTO, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, like what? Like
who's saying what?"
Well, like everybody's like,
"No one knows shit."
Well, get out of here. You know, the immediate reaction is like, "What? He's got to go try out?" Like, come on now. You got to use your head with something like this. Like when he's like the most, one of the most sought after free agents, if not the most sought after offensive player available. Like, he's not, like, signing a PTO to go, like, try out. It just means they have a deal on the table that he can't sign now because of salary cap restrictions.
And he went to the best team. Okay.
That's exactly right.
You think he's stupid?
So, no, you're 100% right. So, he could have taken more money to sign elsewhere. And I even asked, like, well, why didn't he go elsewhere on, like, a PTO? You know, like, if they were going to give more money. Now, those teams had to make some moves, whether it's trade a player or whatever they have to do. To create, salary cap space to sign him. But he wanted to come to St. Louis because it gives him the best chance to win. Listen, for 56 games, for Ryan O'Reilly to be your center, to give you a chance to play the power play, a really, really good power play, score some goals, play your 56 games, and then go do it again next offseason where you're going to get your 5 or 6. Yeah. If there's no pandemic, this guy's probably making $6.5, $7 million a year.
Exactly.
So he'll be an interesting addition. I think he'll be good because he's going to help the team offensively, that he can score goals. He's kind of like a three-point shooter, though. He kind of plays a little perimeter.
Yeah, I know basketball. Yeah, tell me about that, Andy.
You'd like to see him be a little more
shooter,
play a little closer. Well, you know what that means?
No, I don't. But don't make a reference.
He scores a lot of goals from the outside, which not many guys can do.
Oh, they're going to shoot from the blue line? Is that what you're saying?
No, just
is he
inside.
a defenseman, Andy?
For the perimeter.
Christ. What a great analogy that was. Oh, is he fucking Steph Curry? He's Steph Curry of the Blues. The fuck does that mean?
Okay, you don't know what that means?
Yeah, is he shooting pucks from the fucking red line?
It's because you didn't come up with it. No, that would be
you did, eh?
That would be like half court.
I know basketball is so irrelevant to me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about it.
You hate basketball.
Don't give a
okay,
fuck about
so here's the deal. He's signing a 1-year deal worth $4 million on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's going to sign for. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a win-win for the Blues and for him. But for him to play with O'Reilly and Braun,
a psycho
pretty
girlfriend?
Good situation. Okay, so let me tell you this. I got some information on this.
I know. I heard the same thing, but go ahead.
What did you hear?
That it wasn't her. It was fucking Carlson's fucking broad.
And here's the thing.
Girl,
first off,
not broad.
I can't believe you said that again. You keep saying broad. You can't say that.
No, because my parents said it back in the day.
Yeah, but you can't say that. It's
very
offensive.
Well, it is, and blame them.
Okay.
I'm sorry. She's not a broad. She's a woman.
Okay, so here's the deal.
Although kind of psycho, but go ahead.
So here's the deal. So apparently, because Carlson's wife, went and
find me a beer, Andy, please. That's what you're looking for. Thank you.
Carlson's wife,
but yoink.
Mango. So Carlson's wife, they even tried to get like a restraining order and all this type of stuff, like where they, tried to file some different motions. I don't want to get all legal and technical. We need George Papas on here to like explain to us what went down. But the judge threw it out. And she didn't have enough evidence to present that would suggest that it was Mike Hoffman's wife who was doing what Carlson's wife was accusing her of doing, which was like writing stuff on message boards and stuff like that.
Can I say something real quick?
Hold on. So here's one story that I was told that I'll share with you.
Go ahead.
You know how this goes. So players were interested. Okay, well, the first time that Carlson and Hoffman faced each other, how was it going to go down? Was Carlson going to go after Hoffman, or was Hoffman going to go after Carlson? Well, apparently once the game started, Hoffman just beelined. He went right after Carlson, and he was giving it to Carlson the entire game. And from what I'm being told, very good sources, players on the San Jose Sharks at the time were saying, okay, that's all we need to know. This is how it went down, because Carlson, he had no venom. He had no anger. He wasn't even going after Hoffman.
Okay.
So people who are close to the situation will say, listen, Hoffman's wife may have been falsely accused. I don't know if she's guilty or whatsoever, but it was blown out of proportion, and only one side of the story was truly given.
Okay. What person have you ever known that will look at you or me and say, Cam, your lovely, beautiful, blue-eyed, blonde-haired, dime piece of a wife was messaging my wife, telling her, you should die, your kid should die.
Your unborn baby, right?
What person in their right mind,
which is a terrible tragedy that they
ever say that to my wife?
I know.
With any sort of credence, with anything. Now,
especially
if somebody said, Cam said, I probably did. I probably said something crazy on a radio show somewhere. I do every goddamn day. I do this, I do that. I do everything all day long. I wouldn't get that detail, but if somebody said Cam effed up on this shit, and I'd be like, ooh, maybe I did.
Okay, so what are you saying?
If somebody accused my wife of something, and it was that dramatic, there's something there.
Oh, so it triggered.
You think somebody's accusing Kate of something like that? Like, it's like, that is so psychotic, where I would have put my foot down so fast and be like, prove it now. I will burn on the cross if you're fucking right. I torture myself. I will die right now if you think my wife did this.
Yeah.
No one did shit. So that's my point.
That's exactly right.
That's my point.
And so, and I don't know, the dynamic with all the wives and the Sharks now.
Come on.
But I don't think, she's the most popular wife with the Sharks.
There's something
with the
to
Sharks
it.
either.
So keep her in fucking Ottawa.
So you know what? We'll get the real story one day. Maybe it'll be on this podcast. You never know.
Of course it will.
And
What do you think?
We'll get the real story.
Wait, he's not coming on.
And
Gretzky coming on.
And let me say this: other NHL teams, including the Florida Panthers, where he played last year, and he loved playing for Coach Q.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't try to bring him back, but regardless,
well, he might be a fuck up too, man.
NHL teams, they get the information they need to get.
Hoff might be a fuck up, Andy.
Before they make a decision.
Hoff might be a fuck up.
And teams are obviously comfortable by bringing him on board.
He might be a fuck up, dude. It might not be his broad. It might be him. He might be a fucking weirdo.
No, but I don't think
How do you score 30 fucking goals a year, basically, and not
from the perimeter?
Get the whatever
as a 3-point shooter,
like a fucking Steph Curry. Oh, you got Steph Curry on the team. Oh, what does that do? Is he gonna dribble around?
Hey, but watch his listen. You watch his highlight package. For the most part, he has an amazing release. In reality, he'll play where Tarasenko plays on the power play, pretty much being kind of at that left point. Where, listen, man, they'll tic-tac-toe it around.
How about Vladdy talking about?
Yeah, but you know what?
Is that weird?
No, I thought that was blown out of proportion too.
Because I think you're right. Because if you're lost in translation with Russian fucking media.
Yeah,
okay?
that's not the first time that's happened.
So if Vladdy's in fucking Russia and they're like, "Aren't you pissed that you're not captain?" He's probably like, "Yeah, I want to be captain. I've been here 8 years."
Shit.
So then when you take that literally, like verbatim, and then you type it out, and then somebody takes it on the fucking Blues thread, and they're like, "Look what Vladdy said. He's pissed." Like,
why can't he be disappointed?
Why can't he be disappointed?
You don't think Alexander Steen was disappointed when they named Alex Pietrangelo captain?
Yeah. Well,
you don't think he was pissed?
No doubt. No doubt about it.
You don't think
Schwartzy and shit, like, fuck, there's a lot of guys.
Or whatever. If Pronger's named captain and McInnes isn't, however you want to look at it.
Who did we name captain when we did last week? Who did we name? Go ahead. I'll wait.
You don't think somebody was upset?
No, time out.
Hold on. You don't think somebody was upset when Eric Brewer was named captain?
The worst captain in Blues history?
Your favorite teammate ever?
No, the worst captain in Blues history.
Why was he the worst captain ever?
Because he chirped me in an elevator one time.
He chirped you a couple
times.
times. Chirped you several
fucking
times.
nerd boy. He's kind of nerdy, man.
Is he?
I like him. He's fucking nerdy. I'm Eric.
He's got a dry sense of humor. He's actually kind of funny.
If you watch Simpsons, he's that Poindexter looking motherfucker with like the bow tie.
But what's wrong with a player who takes a lot of pride? Listen, being named captain of an NHL team is a big deal. And there's probably other guys who wanted to be named captain. It doesn't mean O'Reilly's not a good choice or whatever, but when you've been there 8 years and you've been the face of that franchise,
I get that.
You're a star player and you've been,
Well, how do you say anything differently when you're asked that question?
What are you supposed to say?
Say no.
Oh,
I
don't want to be captain.
8 years. I never sacrificed 4 surgeries.
I've been selling tickets for this franchise for several years, and help them win a Stanley Cup and whatever. I don't want the captaincy.
Okay.
So I don't think anybody with the Blues organization would take any offense to what he said personally.
Hey, well, you're hurt, dude. You're not giving me captaincy.
Well, that's true.
Okay, this
that's
what
true.
It is. Okay,
that's true.
Wrong time. You're making money. You'll be fine. You want a Stanley Cup.
You never know. Braden Shen, deep down internally, maybe he thinks
he wanted to be a fuck captain.
Yeah,
that guy's fucking rocking guys for 3 years before him. I know. All right.
So what do you think?
Suck it the fuck up, laddie.
Well, no, I don't think he
what are we saying?
The question.
Well, what's my question
about what he said? Is it that big a deal?
No, I don't. That's why I said lost in translation.
Yeah.
Just like when I say something stupid on the radio, it's like Cam said this, and I'm like, man, fuck. I meant that she was cute, not a hella.
Dude, I'll say this about Vladdy because he wears his heart on his sleeve, man.
Yeah,
he does. And it was a big deal for him several years ago to get the A on his jersey. I mean, the player and the general manager in this case, they've had a lot of conversations. The player and the coach. Leadership is a big deal to Vladdy. It's a sign of respect. It gives you a little more presence inside the dressing room, and it means something to him. So, you know what? He has been there for 8 years.
Good, baby.
I don't think what he said was that big a deal.
No, I don't either. And you know what? Competition. Let's go.
Okay,
Let's go.
Ryane Clowe on this edition of the Cam and Strick Podcast.
Love
Man, I'm glad we got this guy on.
Love him.
He was such a good player, brought an interesting style to how he played, where he could fight, he could snap, he could score goals. He was good and tight, good hands. And he's got a great story, too.
Yeah, he does. He's got the concussion problems. I remember playing with him, and I think he was 15, and he's just such a fucking funny guy, man. And I'm like, I got to get this guy on. And I remember playing, and every highlight was him scoring a goal in front of the net with Joe Thornton, and he gets in a fight. I'm like, can't I be him? No, you can't, Cam, because you fucking suck. And I'm like, okay, cool. But, then you're like, you play with him, like, God, he's awesome. And then he got concussion problems. I remember being on the bus with him, man.
Really?
Yeah, and he's sitting behind me.
You knew he was hurting.
Oh, God, Andy. And he's like dizzy, and I'm like, do you need a ride home? And he's like, yeah. Like, I need.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Andy. Yeah, he couldn't even drive home. It was fucking horrible, man. And he's such a sweetheart, and he just signed a big deal, and he knows that, it's a lot of money. Yeah. And I don't know. I love the guy.
Well, you know what? And then he was hurt, and then Lou Lamoriello gives him a 5-year contract.
I know.
And now he's kicking his feet up and just getting his mind right.
Do it. Then do it. That's what we said to him. Like, get your fucking mind right.
Which, by the way, I texted you the other, and you put it all over your social media. Kick your feet up and get your mind right. After I texted that.
Who made that? Who made it?
Oh, you might have.
Yes,
I don't know. That's debatable.
Did you get your mind right? So no,
that's debatable. But
don't steal my shit and tell me I stole it back from you.
Well, that was a text.
Don't steal my shit. And tell me I stole it back.
I'm glad that you took him home that night.
I don't even remember doing that, to be honest with you.
Well, you just told the story.
Well, he needed a ride home.
Do you know one time? The Blues won a playoff game against Chicago, triple overtime, and me and Max Lapierre were the only 2 people left, and he needed a ride home. He didn't have a ride. I took him home that night.
Did he have a concussion problem? No, so I don't give a shit.
He might have. Although Ryane Clowe talks about Lapierre in the podcast, wasn't a big fan.
Yeah.
And they were former teammates in junior. And anyway, so it's interesting.
Whatever.
People will like this conversation, though, man. Ryane Clowe's a good guy, and he will work for an NHL team one day. A lot of teams will be interested in hiring him, man. Smart, too.
Very smart.
Intelligent.
Guy. Huge nose.
And when I said great story, I mean, the concussions are kind of a sad part of the story because it ended his career prematurely.
He's okay.
But just in terms of how he made it to the NHL.
For everybody, young kids, all you parents out there, listen.
He just kept grinding, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, I'm here. I'm a good player."
If you see that in your kid,
wasn't
never give up.
Wasn't a high draft pick.
But listen to me, all you fucking parents, real quick before Andy gets in the car.
Didn't play for the World Juniors and all that. You know what's going on right now.
All you fucking parents. Sometimes the coach doesn't recognize it, man. And sometimes you're so hard on the coach, and I fucking yell at you for being hard on the coach because the coach knows more than you. Especially if you didn't fucking play, he does. But if you see something in your kid that's unique and no one else sees it, you got to stick with him. But if he's fucking lazy, then you gotta get out of it. But if he's got work ethic and he's figuring shit out on the wall and shit like that, then fucking stick with him. But if he's a lazy piece of shit,
then he
don't waste your fucking
money. Hockeytraining.com or something. We'll talk about that.
Laziness ain't gonna help that.
After the
whatever.
But go ahead. Okay, laziness won't help you with Car Shield either.
No.
Okay.
Well, you could be lazy and they help you with that. You're damn right they help you with that.
They'll help you out with anything. So create the package the way that you want to customize it. You want it long term, you can have it long term. You want it short term, have it short term. I mean, don't get stuck with a bill that's going to charge you thousands and thousands of dollars every month. Your computer goes down, your engine goes down, your starter goes out like Cam, which is so embarrassing.
Goodbye, everyone.
You're an
Goodbye,
adult.
Cam. Goodbye, we love you, Cam. Goodbye. Bye, everyone. Cam sucks at everything. Go ahead.
Yeah, well...
well, that's my starter going out, and everybody in the restaurant's like, "Oh, Cam, I thought you were wealthy. You're a fucking loser."
Didn't you play in the show in your car with your starter? He's just like us.
He's normal like us. No, I'm not.
800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM. That's embarrassing.
Yes.
But it'll save you 10%. But mention the promo code CAM. You're going to save 10%. Again, 800-857-2481. Car Shield and carshield.com. How about Bud Light Seltzer, man? All y'all who saw who had the Christmas parties and you had the Bud Light Seltzer at your house, you knew what we were talking about.
Yeah.
You got the same reaction from everybody that walked in, like,
hey,
ooh.
Hey, do you guys cook a standing prime rib roast and put like Bud Light mango on there?
Oh,
like
you can do that. You can marinate
you dumb?
that. No, your turkey.
No.
Your turkey.
Okay, really?
Your
mango on your turkey? No, you make like a mango puree.
Tofurkey.
No.
Tofurkey.
Oh, Jesus, Andy. Stop pissing me off. Just stop. The fans are going to be all over you. I can't keep up with it.
No, they all eat it.
No. I can't keep. They text me about you being dumb.
We have plant-based fans. Don't you know that?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Get them. I'll reply to all you guys. Get them. Just get them.
Can I hear from the plant-based fans out there?
What a baby.
Especially all the plant-based fans over there in Saskatchewan. Let's go.
I want plant-based stuff. Where's my plant-based turkey? The fuck?
All right, listen.
Ty's going to grow? Oh, cool. Yeah.
He's like 95 percentile height right now. He is. He's tall.
He's eating grass? He should be 6'8".
No, he doesn't eat grass. He eats a lot of stuff, including...
Oh, he does? Like what? Like what? No, like what, though? No. Like what?
He crushed a Shake Shack burger. I told you that.
The first time he ate grease? Oh, my... This poor kid. Oh, God. Okay. Can I babysit him?
Listen, black cherry, strawberry, lemon, lime, and mango. Mango, baby. Those are the 4 flavors you need to worry about. They've got the variety packs. They've got other stuff going on with the pineapple and the grapefruit and the cranberry. Check it out. Get that mango. Get that variety pack today and hook yourself up with some Bud Light Seltzer and send us a picture. #ChillZone. Yeah. Send us the picture when you're hanging out with your mango.
Oh, get that mind right, homies. All y'all busting ass up in fucking Canada, fucking grinding it. I love it, dude. Grind that out,
less than a gram of sugar, 100 calories, and they'll deliver it to your front door if you don't want to go to like the grocery store because of COVID and all that time.
Or you're a fancy lad.
Yeah. They'll deliver it to you. BudLight.com. Bud Light Seltzer, baby. Unquestionably good. How about Keep It Handsome? That's what we're doing. We're keeping it handsome. KeepItHandsome.com. Have you listened to us? Are you using the hair products? Are you using the shampoo? Are you
do you
using
want to smell sexy?
Do you want to smell sexy?
Do you want your broad to be like your girl? Sorry. I'm sorry.
Why'd you say that again?
I didn't mean
you said it again.
I'm sorry.
You keep saying that.
I didn't mean to.
It's really not good.
It's not good. You're right. It's not good. Bad Cam. Your girl. When your girl smells your hair, usually she's like, what the fuck? Oh, what? I don't want that dick. But then,
my God!
I'm just like,
why do you have to take it
that's
there?
how it is. But then she's like, "Oh, you're sexy as fuck. Like, what's up, home? Like, give me some of that dick."
It's not. It's that shirt that you wear every day.
Oh my God, I want to have sex with you. And you're like, fuck. Okay, fine. You gotta go to work. Okay, well, let's have sex real quick. Because I smell sexy as fuck.
Maybe that's why all the people love us.
Maybe you'll get laid
inside this building when we walk in. Maybe they smell it from the parking lot outside.
They do. Even the men, it's crazy.
I use that head balm. You can use I used the beard moisturizer this morning once again. I think I used it for like 55 days.
Why waste it? You're wasting beard moisturizer on a non-beard.
No, you can use it.
Why don't you give it a Ty instead? He's got more of a beard than you.
It's like what is it?
It's like what? Lotion?
No, like aftershave.
Yeah, okay.
You can use.
Yeah, but you haven't shaved.
Oh, I do shave too. Yeah. And so you can use it either way. You can use it, but if
me.
you've got a big flowing beard, like if you're a construction worker out there, you're up at 5 a.m. and there's like ice in your beard because of the weather up there. Listen, you need some of this.
You have ice in your beard, but then the girl next door will
like,
smell
why is your
you.
beard perfect?
I have that dick.
They're like, why isn't my husband's beard look like that? Well, you know why. You know the answer. KeepItHandsome.com. So check that out. Check it out. KeepItHandsome.com. You can also get it at Amazon. Yep. Mention the promo code Cam and Strick. Mm-hmm. You're going to save 15%. Now, get that hoodie with it. We're still getting pictures. People sending us pictures, sending us Instagram posts, getting that Fight Ugly hoodie. Why do we fight ugly? Because we care about people. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, we look. Boys are everywhere. They're in the workplace. They're in school. They're girls. They're guys. They're everything. They're teachers. They're there. But we know that we've all been through it, and you need to fight it. You need to fight the ugly. But you keep it handsome afterward. Like when that kid pissed on me in the bathroom, I told you, I'm like, fuck. And my dad's like, what the fuck happened to you? I'm like, okay, I'll go bag this cat up. Although he kicked the shit out of me, but we went toe to toe. But then my parents kept it handsome. Mm-hmm. I fought the bully who was probably 15 years older than me. Right. He had a beard.
But he was in the same grade.
He had more of a beard than you. Same fucking grade.
Yeah,
We're both stupid.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he kicks the piss on me, and I fight him next day. Hey. I get 10 games for it, but my parents invite him out.
10 days, not games.
It's games, God damn it.
Days. You get 10 days
I get 10
suspension.
games for the goddamn shit.
You're not in the show.
And then the principal comes in like, why are you guys sitting next to each other? I'm like, hey, what the fuck? I already kicked the shit out of each other. Like, what? Like, we not supposed to do that. And they gave us 10 games, and then my parents invited him out and like cooked him dinner and gave him clothes.
That was nice.
And shit.
So listen, a portion of the proceeds go back to the Montreal Resource Center, which fights bullying.
He pissed on me, by the way.
Well, we're all about anti-bullying. And people are getting these hoodies. People are asking if we make them in youth sizes too. We're working on that so the kids can wear these.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. But get yourself a Fight Ugly hoodie. Mention the promo code Cam and Strick. You're going to save 15%, man.
The kids can wear it at school too. Like, everybody's like, look, you wear this fucking shirt, and you wear it. Girls, guys are like, what is that?
People ask me. I have it on today because we're doing a video, and like in the grocery store, they're like, do you get in a lot of fights? What is that?
No, Andy, you
they
don't.
look at me like they think
your
I get
partner
in a lot of
does.
fights.
Okay. Jesus
I'm like,
Christ.
no, I fight the ugly.
Andy's probably like, fuck, I go toe to fucking toe. Fucking left.
And people they're like, wow, that is amazing. Yeah. That is amazing. So
like amazing that you fight people.
Yeah, well, get yourself that Fight Ugly hoodie and do it today. You can even wear it into Bellman and Bellman.com. Dan Bellman is the man. Happy New Year to you, Dan Bellman.
Love you.
Happy New Year to everybody out there with Bellman.com, Bellman Automotive. You got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram on one side of the street, all in Troy, Missouri. On the other side, you got the Cadillac, the Buick GMC. I'm looking at that Escalade.
I want that Buick.
Cam's getting the Buick Enclave.
I'll take that
with captain seats, pearl white. He'll pick that up today.
Give a fuck.
And again, if you have a used car at home and you don't know what to do with it, you're like, oh, nobody wants it. They want it, and they're going to pay you good cash for it. Now's the time to do it. Head on in to Bellman Automotive. Bellman.com is the website. Check out their inventory, the pre-owned inventory, the new inventory. It's really incredible what they've done. And Dan Bellman is the man, and he has been in this town for a long time.
And he treats like he's like great for hockey in this town, dude.
Yes, he is.
So take care of him.
He supports hockey.
Take care of him.
Take care of him.
He's like one of the good guys.
Yes,
like, let's go. He like helps out with people. Like does charity shit. Like help him.
Yeah. So check that out.
Awesome.
And get your Cam and Strick hat and get it today. www.camandstrick.com. Get the hat. Several colors to choose from. And it's never too late for you to get your.
Well, speaking of getting late, you want your hair to smell good, and you got the hat. Like your girl's gonna be like, "I want you
with the hoodie.
I want you."
They match. You can get the black and white. It matches your Fight Ugly hoodie. So check that out. All right.
Don't be surprised if your wife's like that.
Yes.
Just be like, okay, you're like, having sex. Like, what does this mean now?
If I only knew.
Like, do you know what it means?
I would have done this earlier. Okay. All right. Cam got new shoes.
No,
Ryane Clowe is on this edition of the Cam and Strick Podcast. All as well as we close out 2020, baby.
Love you guys.
Hello.
Clowe.
Hello.
What's up, Jenny?
What up, man? I got my partner, Andy Strickland, here, too. Andy, go
ahead.
How's it going?
What's up?
Say hi.
What's up, Ryan?
Hey, how's it going?
I want to know how you came up with the spelling for your name. That's my first question. You got the E on the end. Gives it a little bit.
Was that extra Swedish?
Well, he just stands out. He stands out. Where'd the E come from?
I don't know. I asked my mom that. She gave me an explanation. I forget what. I actually don't even remember what it is, but it's kind of. I kind of wish it was just regular because it gets kind of a pain in the ass when people kind of pronounce my name.
Ryane.
I wouldn't even notice that, Andy. I wouldn't even notice that. Where are you at right now? Are you in St. John or what?
No, I'm in Florida.
Oh.
Look at you. Are you on the water?
Like, what do you got going down there?
Kind of moved down here when I was done playing. I'm not on the water. We live in like a community. It was like not a golf community or anything, but I do play quite a bit of golf. There's pretty close to the golf course. We go to the beach and stuff, so we're not far from the water. But it's pretty nice this time of year, man. I gotta say, this is when the weather really starts to get good.
What's the weather like in Newfoundland right now?
Oh, it's I think they just had a snowstorm yesterday, to be honest. So,
do you ever go back up there? You got a place up there too?
Yeah, in the summer. Obviously not this summer, but once I stopped playing, I haven't been going back as much. I go back for probably 3 weeks in the summer, and then that's usually about it. Yeah, I mean, it's the summers are short there too. It's actually better to go back in like the fall is when it's really nice. But I try to get back. Not much during the winter months though, Jenny.
So I know a lot of guys from up there. Like, gosh, there's so many guys. Is it Darren Langdon, Logan McMillan? Then you got who else is? You got a lot of guys that played from Newfie. Who else is from up there?
Michael Ryder, who
that's right.
Jenny, were you there with Jenny? Yeah. You might have been with him in
Jersey. Oh yeah.
Teddy Purcell, Dan Cleary. Yeah, we got quite a few guys that were. There's 2 or 3 guys actually on the Canadian junior team this year from Newfoundland. So they got a good young crop coming up as well. So
it's the STD capital of the world, Andy. Is it
okay? That's what Cam claims.
Is that not true?
He would know.
Man, I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, it could be right. Hey, it's probably right up there.
Hey, when it comes to STDs.
I know what I'm talking about. Is that the fuck you're going to say?
Apparently you do. You have all the stats.
Logan McMillan told me. I called him out on that.
So I remember Dan Cleary being from. He was a Newfie. Is the term Newfie like? Is it okay? Like, is that like an endearing comment or is that like an offensive one?
Yeah, I like Noof rather than Newfie.
Yeah.
I like Newfie's kind of like you're like a rookie or something.
Yeah, he's a Newfie. No, he's a Noof.
So, right, when you grew up though, were you like on the water? Did your dad was your dad a fisherman? Like, what'd your mom and dad do, and how was your upbringing?
Yeah, my dad was a crab fisherman. He was. It was like codfish. He fished for scallops. He fished for crab. So yeah, we were basically. I grew up in a small, it's probably 300 people, actually, a small fishing village community. That's kind of what he did his whole life. He's still doing it now. So he had it was interesting. I mean, a lot of my cousins and friends and stuff that I grew up with, they basically, how I kind of perceived hockey is, a love and something that I wanted to do. Like, that's how they kind of looked at the fishing. It's something they wanted to do. They loved being on the water. They loved it's really, it's obviously strenuous work, but that's what they love to do. And I did it a little bit with my dad, and I was like, man, I hope I make it in hockey, because I really don't want to do this if I don't. And I'm lucky it worked out, but it's that's something that he still does.
You know what though, Ryan? I wouldn't expect to hear anything else. Like, I would expect your dad to be a fisherman.
I know.
Growing up over there. Like, I see the footage, the video. It looks like a small little European town. You have like all different colored little structures and like those small little streets. Like, what separates Newfoundland and being a Newf versus the rest of the country up there in Canada? Is it that different? Is it separated? Like break that down for us.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're on an island, but I think the most, if you talk to someone from Newfoundland or who's visited Newfoundland, one of the first thing basically everyone says is they're just overwhelmed by how nice and friendly and hospitable the people are. So it's that's what stands out the most. And then it's certainly a different culture. It's an island. You got a lot of Irish people settling from Ireland. It's interesting to go around different parts of the island, and you can drive across the island. It's probably like 14 or 15 hours. It's big, and you can, you go to different communities, and there's a lot of different accents. It's actually pretty unique. You get like, where I'm from, there's a lot of Irish, and then you get, kind of in St. John's, they kind of got a different accent, and then you go to the western part of Newfoundland, it's different again. So it's very unique that way. Obviously there's a lot of resources as far as natural resources, fishing, oil, mining, that sort of thing. So it's a place that I think, and they're absolutely crazy about hockey. They just, it's something. It's obviously the number one thing to do up there. So it was, we're pretty fortunate to grow up there, and it's just like, it seems like I see a lot of these guys that Matt Carl and Scotty Gomez and Nate Thompson kind of grew up in Alaska, and it's kind of like a little bit similar. I feel when I hear them talking of how they grew up. So it's kind of it reminds me of that.
Gumber doesn't even know how to shoot a gun. By the way, like he's from Alaska, but I think all his buddies shoot
It's questionable. It's questionable.
But your dad being a fisherman though, and you see Deadliest Catch and all that shit. Did he tell you like sea stories from back in the day when he saw this fucking octopus that was the size of whatever, or like did he get caught out in a jam? Like, I mean, it's so fucking dangerous. I mean, he must have so many stories from being out there caught in fucking weather and shit like that. Megalodon, I don't know.
He's got some, you're right. He's got some, when it's funny, he didn't really tell me much about it growing up for those stories, but as we got older and we'd sit down with friends and stuff and he'd start telling stories. I mean, it really is, it's crazy. And some of it's just, you're in life or death situations. And I'm surprised he actually got out of them. But, I think he's, one of the things when he was fishing was he'd fish for tuna, but it's only a certain time. So when you get word that there was tuna out there, he would go out and, but it would be in a hurry. So a lot of times you're not even worrying about the weather and stuff. And he would they would be in some crazy situations where, they were lucky to get out of it. And there's other times I remember because when he would go fishing and after 2 weeks or almost 3 weeks had been underwater, he'd pull in and they'd be coming back into the land, and I would as a young kid go greet them and the family. And I remember sometimes when the windows are in the boat are boarded up from the waves coming in, and just crazy stuff. Whereas like I don't think I realized how dangerous it was at the time, but now looking back, it was something where when we sit around, I'll just get him sometimes to tell friends or buddies some stories about it, and it's it's entertaining now, but it was scary at the time.
Yeah, we'll move on from it, but I'm curious. It's got to be so beautiful, like Christmas time. Oh, I'm sure everybody's outside. Is there any crime there whatsoever?
Besides STDs?
Besides that Janny left behind.
Yeah, exactly. He left his mark.
My bad.
No, it's pretty safe. I mean, it's like anywhere now. It's you're getting a little bit of the drugs and the coming in, and a little bit of that sort of thing. But overall, it's a safe community, and most of the people, you kind of know each other. You have acquaintances, you're familiar with each other. So, besides, you're not going to see a bunch of murders or anything like that. You might see some break and entry, but it's a safe community. Certainly a lot of people walk around, leave their doors open. And so it's, as everything with the way the economy and stuff is changing, there's a little bit more narcotics around, but overall it is a really safe place to live.
Andy Strickland and Cam Jansen here for you for GadgetBuyback.com. Gadget Lab, they got a store here locally if you're in St. Louis, 5541 Telegraph Road. Here's the deal. You got an old phone, maybe a cracked tablet, maybe it's perfect, but it's a little bit older. Turn it in right now. www.gadgetbuyback.com. Upgrade your devices, phones, computers, watches.
Anything.
Doesn't have to be Apple either. No. Get those tablets turned in. Again, www.gadgetbuyback.com. 877-772-8880. Now back to the interview.
Yeah. So you had to play in the queue though, right? So you play up there, you're getting your groove on, and all of a sudden you go play down in the Quebec League. How was that? Like, were a bunch of shit kickers in that league at the time, and how was the language barrier? I mean, did that matter? Travel, all that shit.
It was, it was really strange. I played my midget AAA last year, overage year in St. John, so I wasn't drafted to the Quebec League, but at that stage Newfoundland had to go to Quebec League or the Ontario League. I think it's just the Quebec League now. But so I got a walk-on with tryout. I was just turned 18 in Moncton with the Moncton Wildcats, and I actually got cut as an 18-year-old from the Moncton Wildcats. Went back to a junior A team in Moncton, kind of played there until Christmas, and then Rimouski Oceanic, who had Vincent LeCavier, Brad Richards, had a bunch of guys, Sidney Crosby after me. Mm-hmm. They actually won the Memorial Cup the year before, and they had a bunch of injuries. They lost a bunch of players the next year, and I was just a guy that was, putting up some numbers in Junior A, and they called me up and they said, hey, at Christmas time, we'll give you a 3-game tryout. If you make it, great. If not, we'll just send you back to Junior A. So I said, All right, perfect. So I played, and I think I scored a couple of goals, got in a couple of fights, and they told me that, after Christmas, hey, we'd like to keep you to the end of the year and see what happens. So by the end of that year, I played in Rimouski. I actually got drafted to San Jose. So it was a crazy few months. Yeah, it was really. I remember my agent calling me after I had a pretty good playoffs, and he's like, "I think you got a chance to get drafted." I'm like, "Really?" I wasn't at the draft. It wasn't even on my radar. He's like, "Yeah, maybe 50-50." And then he just said, "Yeah, the Sharks took you." So that's where I played my junior career. I played in Rimouski a couple of years. It was an all French kind of isolated town, but really, really good hockey town. We had 3 or 4 English guys, and I really enjoyed it. It's one of the better towns, in my opinion, in hockey towns. You can see they have a lot of high-end prospects come through there. And, it was a great experience, but it was just a whirlwind of a year as an 18-year-old, to kind of get cut from a major junior camp to get drafted at the end of the year. It's kind of not something you see a lot, but I was lucky enough to get drafted with the Shark.
You hear all these stories, like how they miss out on certain guys, and then they get drafted late and end up having, good careers like you did. But did you grow? Were you small in junior, or were you a big boy? Did you play the same style of game? Why do you think you were under the radar?
I was very similar. I didn't really adjust my game. It's kind of how I played. I was actually, as I was younger, I was very small, and I just kind of hit a growth spurt. And then when I got kind of growing, I kind of was cut from a lot of teams, even back in Newfoundland, as just basically, not fast enough was the thing as I grew. But, even when I got to the NHL, obviously I was just an average skater at best. But, I always had the other parts of my game that I thought were pretty strong. So, no, it wasn't really anything. I was a little bit older. I don't know if I was kind of on anyone's radar. Like I said, I just got a tryout in Moncton, and they weren't even a good – it's not like I went to a good team. They were a really bad team, Moncton. And, I got cut there. And then, funny enough, when I went to San Jose, I don't even think the scouts really knew – I don't really think that anyone in the organization really knew seen me play or knew who I was. It was just one guy, I think, was John Ferguson Sr. The late John Ferguson Sr. was a
wow.
Sharks.
He likes toughness.
Oh
yeah. Yeah,
you know how Fergie played. So I think he just seen me score a couple of goals, get in a couple of fights, and was like, let's take a flyer on this guy. But that's kind of you just kind of need that one guy in your corner to kind of like how you play.
Yeah, no doubt. And John Ferguson Jr.,
he's a good guy in the corner.
He's listening. Yeah. He's listening to this podcast too, Junior, man, who works now with the Boston Bruins. Great guy, and that's cool to hear that his dad was the one that found you. Yeah. You played junior with Max Lapierre, though, man. I love Max from back. Oh, man. He was good. Listen, he ran his mouth. He talked so much shit.
Oh, God.
But as a young kid, was he like that as a young kid too?
Yeah, he was. He was I played with him in Montreal when my last year I got traded from Rimouski as an overager, and he was. I remember because then I had some really heated battles against him in Vancouver. There was a lot of hatred there, and I remember telling him once, I was like, I didn't even like you when I played with you.
But that always digs at you though when somebody says that. Don't get me wrong, I haven't had too many of those, but when you get that.
When you're in the heat of the moment, you're just so I, it was probably a little bit too much because I actually did not like him. He was actually a nice guy, and I got along good with him. But at that stage, was just playing him so much in Vancouver, you kind of build up that hatred. But no, he was one of those guys in junior, was kind of the same as the NHL. He kind of was the same player. He played hard. He played. He's willing to do what it took to win. He was kind of the same player. He wasn't a huge scorer in junior, but he was very effective. Kind of the same role he played in the NHL.
Were you still in San Jose when he hit Dan Boyle? And I think Boyle had to go off from behind, off the ice on a stretcher. Were you on the team when he did that or no? Because then he got suspended, and I remember before the Blues played San Jose the next time they faced up against each other, he was so nervous, and he came down to the hotel bar at 1 o'clock in the morning. He couldn't sleep. I'm like, what do you mean you can't sleep? He's like, I know I have to fight tomorrow night. And he was so nervous.
Chloe was going to come after him?
So I don't know if it was you that was coming after him, Chloe. That's what I was going to ask you. Were you the one that was going to go after him? You may have been gone by then.
I think that was actually, I think it was the year that I left. Because I would have remembered something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not or at least would have remembered if someone fought him or went after him. But
he did fight.
Well, you would have piss pumped him, so you would have remembered it, and he wouldn't have remembered it because he probably would have been conkied out.
Probably.
So you get this. Go ahead.
Boyle would have went after him or not. I don't know if Boyle went after him, but probably not.
Probably not. No, he's like, no, I got a lot of money. I'm chilling. I'm quarterbacking power plays. I don't give a shit. Okay, you get to San Jose, and you're like, is this like a whirlwind? Where'd you stay? Who'd you start hanging out with? Like, did you did you go to the older guys? Like I always tell all these young kids, like, don't hang out with the fucking rookies when you're young. Like, go to the big boys and just hang out with them. You'll learn a lot. Like, explain that experience going to San Jose.
Yeah, so like I said, when I got drafted after the end of my year, I was 18 at the time. The following year, I go to training camp. So I basically went from September getting cut as a Quebec Major Junior player in Moncton to the following September. I remember going to an NHL training camp. So in a year, I was like, what? I didn't know what happened. It was like a whirlwind. I flew in for training camp into San Jose. I think it was actually September, like the 2001, because I remember September 11. But I remember flying in there. I've never been to California. I've never been anywhere really at that point, anywhere, like far as being around the world. So I flew in. I remember over the mountains and coming in, and I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, I didn't even know I played hockey there. And then it was I got to camp in San Jose that year, and it was a crazy experience. But as I kind of got settled in, when I started to play a little bit in the NHL, and my first couple of camps, like some of the guys then I remember like Scotty Thornton. He was awesome, great guy. Mike Ricci, Scott.
Ricci.
Fucking Ricci.
I mean, he had the hair. Awesome. He had no teeth.
Was he cool?
What was he like?
Reach was awesome. Reach was one of those guys that, Jenny, you get some of the older guys who are a little bit, don't want to have a lot to do with the younger guys when they're kind of established. But Reach was a guy, and he was in the middle of the lunches and the dinners, and in the middle of chirping the young guys, talking with the young guys. He was always talking kind of loud, but it was great. Like he was just really outgoing, made everyone feel involved, and so he was awesome. Scott Thornton was a great guy, really funny. So we had some good guys there. Wayne Primo was an older veteran who was really great. So those are kind of the guys early on that I wouldn't say I was calling them or anything, but you're always kind of, hey, what are you guys doing for dinner? Trying to
Let me hang out with the wealthy guys. And how many? Yeah. And when you moved over there, were you like, oh my God, I've never seen so many good-looking cougars cruising around with fucking Louis Vuitton? I mean, wealthy people everywhere. I mean, is it just like a completely different atmosphere going on to San Jose compared to where you're from? And how do I even keep up with this shit? Although you are making good money, not compared to them though.
Yeah, I mean, especially early in your career, you're just trying to get established. And then I'd go I didn't live on Santana Row, as you know where that is, Jenny. You guys probably stayed there.
Yep.
But I didn't live there my first couple of years. I was kind of, so when I'd go visit some of the guys that lived there, I was like, man, we kind of go out there and hang out. And it was like you said, it was just kind of, for me, it was almost like a little bit of a different world. And especially in Silicon Valley, it was just starting to take off. It was booming, and there's a lot going on there. So it was actually it was such a good place to play because we were selling out every night. You had such a great setup there as far as convenient, great weather. You had a great following, but you weren't like in Canada where you were getting kind of bombarded. It was actually, I couldn't have asked for a better place to play. It was great on all spectrum. And I was just a really good. It was actually a really good hockey town, which surprised me when I got there because I didn't know. But yeah, it was a really great place to play.
Yeah, no, the fans there are great.
Yeah, they are great.
And
loud.
Listen, it would be a great place to play in the league, but you never had a problem calling out your teammates, man, when the situation called for it. And San Jose was always one of those teams, much like St. Louis. Like I know they broke through, they got to the final back in 2016, but you guys had all these good teams and just couldn't ever really get it done in terms of winning a Stanley Cup. But I was reading some comments from you, Ryan. It was one of the games, like after the games, you said something about like guys are more concerned about their individual numbers than winning. If guys would, they don't want to back check, they don't want to get back because they got to work too hard. I mean, you came down really hard, and it was refreshing to hear this because you don't see this or hear this or read it from too many players talking about their teammates. So tell us who you were talking about.
Yeah.
Was that Marleau? Was that Thornton?
Honestly,
who we talking about?
You know what? If I was talking about, and the one thing I will say, and if I was talking about someone individually, like I would have said it to the person. Mm-hmm. Like I would have said it to them, and I've done that multiple times, and people have done that to me, and that's what I liked about that team. I think it was, there wasn't a lot of sensitivity, which I think is kind of at the forefront now. Everyone's worried about hurting each other's feelings, and it's if you're going to have a strong culture in hockey and in an organization, you got to be comfortable with confrontation, and I'm a big believer in that. And I think you can't sweep anything under the rug. And we didn't win in San Jose, but we were knocking on the door every year, and I think as an organization, and kind of like how St. Louis were before they won, they were in a similar situation in Washington. You just got to keep knocking on the door, and eventually one year, hopefully multiple years, you can kind of break that door down and get over the hump. We weren't able to in San Jose, but we had a really strong group of guys, strong culture with Thornton and Burns and Pavelski and Marleau and myself, and then we got Dany Boyle and Heatley. So we had a really strong group of guys that were not afraid of confrontation and didn't really, starting with Jumbo, we're not sensitive about challenging each other, calling each other out, so that's something that I think is kind of lost a little bit right now, which I love. So that would, and at times a lot of that you're saying off emotion after games and stuff, and mm-hmm. some things you regret, but something like that I didn't regret, because I knew that, one, it put more pressure on me to back up my play, and I didn't want to be just a cheerleader. I wanted to be able to back it up, and then, which I enjoyed having that pressure. And then the other part was I knew that it was something that I would have said face to face to a teammate. So at times I knew it was okay, and I knew the coaches at times. Coaches might not say it, but I think they like that. I think they like when players bark a little bit to take a little heat off them and give a different voice, because you get kind of repetitive, and so that was a part of my role in San Jose, and I enjoyed it.
The Cam and Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. Nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on, and right off the bat you're gonna have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now back to the interview.
So, okay, I remember playing, and, we all come to the rink early. We do our thing. We're watching highlights. And every fucking day, Chloe, I would see you either parked in front of the net. I mean, there was a span where you were on every highlight. You were scoring goals. You were fighting. You were doing this. You were hitting. You were and I'm like, oh, my God, this guy. Like, when did you start putting that together? When did you figure out your game? Yeah, you're not the fastest guy in the world. We've talked about this. But you got around, and you found a way to get in front of the net and mesh with a couple superstars over there. When did that all start coming together?
I actually think it started to come together, Dany, my second year. Well, after my rookie year in the AHL, my second year was the lockout year. So it was the league was unbelievable. I mean, the AHL at that point was it was just all the high-end players, high-end prospects, very competitive league, really good league. And I had a really good year I was in Cleveland at the time. And even coming off my rookie year in the AHL, I felt pretty good, but you're kind of still unsure about where you're going to be or if you're going to make it. And after that year, I felt really, really strong about, you played against the top prospects. You played against the top players on your team that you're competing with. So I felt good about my game. And that's kind of where, I think I had a bunch of fights that year. I think I had maybe, 60 or 70 points. And I just felt like, this game could translate. Even if it's not with San Jose, I was like, someone's probably going to want this type of game on their team. And that's kind of where it took off for me. And then, to be honest, when I made the team the next year straight out of training camp, but I got sent down after like a month. Like I was very cautious, very tentative. Like I wasn't really, I remember playing like Rob Blake and guys like, I think it was like Shane Doan and a bunch of these guys that I kind of grew up watching. And I was literally like kind of scared to touch him. Like I deserved to get sent down. I was very ineffective. And then I got sent down, and then kind of during that year when I got called back up again, I kind of made up my mind. I'm like, you know what, this is it. Like if you don't kind of give your head a shake here, then you're going to be out of the league quick. And that's when I kind of went and start playing, obviously more abrasive, tenacious, fighting, more confidence with the puck. Started to play. All of a sudden, Ronnie Wilson was throwing me with Joe Thornton and Patty Marleau, and I was like, I think I won. They put me on that line, and obviously I think I won Rookie of the Month because I just stood there when Jumbo was playing on another level at that point, and I was just, I banged in a few goals, and then that's kind of the break you're looking for. But it was more on me. It wasn't anything to do with anyone. Once I decided in my mind that I had to switch my game, and you know what it's like. You got to show respect to your players and your peers, but not that much respect that they're going to.
I'll say, I'll say this about you though. Like a lot of your fights, because Cam and I have talked about this a lot. Guys who like to fight, guys who will fight, they don't always know when to do it. Like you would snap at the end of a game if your team was out of it. I mean, you would just go absolutely fucking ballistic. I remember covering a game where you knocked down Roman Polak. It was right after Lapierre actually scored an empty net goal, and so you knew when to do it. Because it just, and to me, like that's a sign of guys who just want to win, right? They get frustrated, they're mad at the end of the game. Did you like fighting? Was that something you enjoyed doing? It seemed like you did.
You know what? I did. Like, did you say like, oh, I loved it and all that? I don't know if I'd say that. Did I like it? Yeah, I did enjoy it because what I liked about it is I felt that there wasn't a lot of guys that I felt were able to, at that stage. I think there was maybe Lucic, maybe there's a few guys that could play in that top six role that could do that as well. So I felt like there's a real opportunity, and you got a real edge if you can kind of play and and handle yourself, and basically is what protect your teammates, and basically that's what it was about for me. That was the biggest thing, and I really took it and as you know, Janny, because I know playing with you and you did too. You really take it personal. That's something I took personal when you take liberties. You really feel like you're getting pushed around, and that's kind of how I don't think I ever really kind of went out and. The number one thing is I had to be an effective player. I was playing, but then I knew that was there, and I really liked that. I liked that I was, I knew that I was able to fight and handle myself and had a pretty good feel on how to do it, and then I felt comfortable with it, which is important. And then I also knew that if I was able to also play and then protect the players that I was playing with were usually pretty good players, and then be able to have that element in my game. So that's what I felt. That's what I feel strong about, and I did enjoy it, and I don't go back watching anyone's goals anymore. I go back if I'm watching. I always look at old fights and stuff. Damn right. It was fun.
You know what? Isn't that nice though, Andy? It must be nice when you play on the top line. you could stand in front of the net. You could score your goals, and then when you fight, in that sense, it's a bonus. Mm-hmm. It's a bonus. So you didn't even have to go toe-to-toe with guys. You just had to stick up for the guys. Right. And you're also you're getting the minutes. You're doing this. Like, you're on top of the world. You're unique. You mentioned Milan Lucic. Like, who's another fucking guy? Tom Wilson now, but it's a fucking handful of guys. Like, you were unique in your own way, and you figured it out at the right goddamn time.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And it was kind of happened organically. It's not something where, like, when I started fighting in junior and I started fighting in the AHL, like it was all kind of, I knew it's something that it came natural. Like I didn't say, okay, I gotta be a fighter and try to make it out. It was like, I knew I kind of was able to play. I knew I had fairly good, puck skills and hockey sense, and my skating was average. That's what I worked on probably the most in the off season, was getting quicker and stronger. And then the fighting, sometimes when you fight as a young guy, as Janny, you kind of, even in junior, like you get this you kind of do it, and then you're like, geez, you surprise yourself. You're like, oh, I'm pretty good at it. Or I have an idea I'm doing, or I can handle myself. And you get this confidence, like, you know what you're doing. And obviously you see some guys fight, and even though they're probably bigger, they're throwing or wailing away. They don't really know what they're doing. And then, you kind of have this feel for it. And that's kind of what happened with me. I kind of just had a feel for it even when I was younger. And then I knew right away. I said, because it's basically one of the reasons I got drafted. I got drafted because I went into Quebec League, got in a bunch of fights, kind of did very well, but then got in the playoffs and scored a bunch of goals. And it was kind of like, you got that kind of repertoire then going into it. So, yeah, that worked out well. It was something I'm proud of. I wish it was a little bit more of it nowadays. Like you mentioned, Tom Wilson, he's probably, maybe a Ryan Reeves, who obviously doesn't play the minutes Tom Wilson, but he's still effective. But you kind of see it getting out of the game now, and it kind of makes you a little bit sad, actually.
Listen, I want to get your take on Patrick Marleau. Like, as a teammate, like, he seems like such a good guy. Like, he goes to Toronto, all the young guys love him. But remember when Jeremy Roenick, like, just went after him on national TV? Like, this is after JR played with you guys in San Jose, and he just starts crushing Patrick Marleau. And he's always had a reputation outside of San Jose by some players and stuff like that, as maybe a guy who's not a winner and like maybe doesn't do what it takes to win, but always puts up good numbers. I mean, this guy's played over 1,700 games, something like that, something crazy right now, and he's still going. Like, do you remember when Roenick made those comments? Like, what was your guys' reaction to that? And tell us about Patty Marleau. What's he like as a teammate?
Yeah, we remembered that, because we were there, obviously, when we were there for those 2 years that JR was playing in San Jose with Patty. So, it was kind of, I guess, caught us a little bit off guard, but, that's kind of JR. He's going to say what he feels. And, Patty is just a really, really, good human being. Like, he's just a solid guy, reliable. That's the one thing about Patty and Joe Thornton in San Jose was that, you talk about having high-end players on your team and superstars, but the other half is, you keep them on the ice. And those guys, you could pencil them in every year for 82 games. And that was so important for us. I mean, it was just, they're so reliable, so durable, play through pain, play through injuries. And obviously you're playing that much and plus playing in the playoffs, you're playing through injuries. And then those guys were, I mean, they didn't say anything, but they played through a lot of shit that a lot of people wouldn't. And, Patty was a very effective player, really good guy. Guys really liked him. Him and Joe got along great. They had to kind of went to the stage where Patty didn't have the C and Joe didn't have the C, and they kind of took it away from back. It was going back and forth there for a bit, and Patty handled it like a pro. He was always there's times when you heard a bunch of trade rumors about Patty, and same thing, like he'd come out and he'd have a great year. Like, he wouldn't affect him. He was just a very good professional, good guy, nothing bad to say about him. I don't think anyone can say really anything bad about Patty. And, I know he hasn't won and Joe hasn't won either, but, to me, it doesn't take away from what he's done in his career. And, his durability is the most impressive thing. Like, he has a chance to be the all-time games played leader, which is impressive, obviously. But, no, he took a lot of heat. He did take a lot of heat. And to me, like, he has an opportunity. I still think if he comes back and plays this year, there'll probably be a team at the deadline again, probably take it. If it's not the Sharks, if it doesn't work there, then another team like Pittsburgh did last year. And I think I really think he can still be effective.
Yeah, no, you're probably right about that. But knowing Patty, like, when he hears the criticism, especially from a former teammate, like, you don't see that too often, especially in hockey. Yeah. A big name like Roenick to go after Marleau like that, like, just, caught a lot of people off guard, but got a lot of attention, created headlines. Do you think that bothered Patty? Like, does that bother him? Did you guys have to go talk to him and be like, hey, man, don't listen to what he's saying?
It's hard to say because, like I said, there was a couple of years when he was I know right around when we traded for Dany Heatley, there was another year we made a trade like where Patty was expected kind of to go back the other way. And we were like, man, like this has got to wear you down a little bit. And he had like a career year and he was flying. And we were like, I don't know. If it did, he didn't show it. Like, he just rolled off his back and he played outstanding. And the one with JR, I think that might've just caught Patty off guard because there was, it's different with, if me and Jani played together and we left and we had we had a strained relationship. We didn't get along. I went on the air. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's like, that'd be different because it's Jani, Jani, you give me lots of reasons to probably hate you, but that was Patty Marleau. He's like, that's what I was saying earlier. He's very hard to dislike. And I don't blame JR. I mean, I don't think he was attacking his character. I'm just saying he has to be making more of an impact and on winning and on the team. And, at that stage we were kind of underachieving as a team. And so it was no one that I remember kind of went to Patty and said, hey, how are you doing? Because he was handling it well, but we were caught off guard. I mean, I remember, us watching us to shake. We were more shaking our head like, Jesus, JR, like, what's this kind of about? But we also knew JR from our time playing together, so he'll say what's on his mind.
No shit, he will. Speaking of Dany Heatley, like we don't see much of him ever really anymore, and of course he's been through a lot of stuff. Like, how is he as a guy, man? I know he's a great player. He went through a lot of shit, but did he talk about any of that stuff? I mean, was he buying? Like, did he stick to himself? Like was he rowdy in the locker room? Like, explain Dany Heatley.
Yeah, he's actually lives in Manhattan Beach now, and I talk to him regularly. He's actually one of the closest friends I have, and really? You know how it is, Jenny. When you retire, you play with hundreds of players, but you just kind of move on because everyone's in different directions, and you don't really always keep in touch. So he was one of the guys that I would call him one of my closer friends, a true friend, one of the best teammates I ever played with. Loved the guys, taking care of the guys. Played great for us in San Jose. He obviously had the incident that happened in Atlanta. Yeah. So but that wasn't something that, and I've probably spent as much time with him as anyone. Like it wasn't my place. I didn't think to bring it up or anyone else. So, and he didn't talk about it, and he seemed to be doing okay. So, but he was loved by his teammates. Guys loved him. Outstanding guy. Just a real good fun guy to be around. Just one of those guys that you see him coming when he came from Ottawa. He was a superstar. He just scored 50, I think, 2 years in a row, and but he just fit in so well. He was one of those guys like you talked about earlier. He took care of the young guys, get young guys out for dinner, and bought dinners. Always bought dinners on the road for the guys. Just really, really a solid team guy, and a real good friend.
Hey, let's talk about the new Bud Light Seltzer.
Oh, yeah.
It's an easy-drinking, hard seltzer that comes in 4 delicious fruit flavors. Black cherry, strawberry, lemon lime, and Cam's favorite, mango. With only 100 calories, 5% alcohol, and less than a gram of sugar, you might as well have a few tonight or this weekend. Go to BudLight.com to buy Bud Light Seltzer online. Must be 21 years of age or older. Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good.
Yeah.
Now, back to the interview.
Who had the 6 set up? And what's Thornton set up, by the way? I know he did that, like, he shaved his beard. You could kind of, I don't even care about when people do this shit, whenever you play in the NHL for that long, and I know your contract situation, I don't look at what you're doing. I look at the background and what you have, like where your house is and shit like that. Who had the sickest setup,
man?
Are
you cheap? Are you spending your money?
Are you looking over fucking San Jose? Come on now. Like, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. No, Jumbo probably had the spot there. He was up in the kind of Los Gatos Hills. He had a view that was kind of overlooking his place, but going right almost to San Francisco. It was an incredible setup, and but again, he would have. It's not like he was up there hiding away from everyone. He would have everyone over all the time, like a young call up to a veteran guy. He didn't care. He'd have guys over all the time. Him and his wife would cook dinner, and he had an awesome setup. He's still there. I think he probably plans on retiring there eventually if he ever stops playing, and then going back there. And so yeah, he had and then Patty Marleau built like a new place that was massive house in San Jose as well, fairly close to Joe. So those guys are staples there, man. So they've been there the longest, and they got pretty great setups.
Yeah, they're never retiring. Those two, man. They'll just play forever.
Like
hey, man, listen. How old were you when you first got your first concussion?
I think to be honest with you, the one that I can remember, I think it was like, I was young. I was like 13 or 14. I was going backwards for some reason. I hit a guy, and I remember kind of puking and being out and dizzy. But I went home and got a cold shower, and I think I went to sleep, which is probably the last thing you're supposed to do. But the only reason I know that was concussion is from my history later on, knowing what concussions were. But at the time, my mom or me had no idea what was going on. We thought it was a headache. So I remember that one was, and it was actually a bad one, but I was young. And I got a couple in junior. But early in my career, as far as the AHL and the NHL, like I didn't have any concussion issues. I was, I was fighting. I felt good. I didn't have any issues there. That wasn't even on my radar. And then it was, I got one in San Jose. I believe it was in the playoffs. Then another time I went into the boards, and I actually cracked my cheekbone, but I didn't really. It was an interesting story because I didn't have any like concussion symptoms. But then a couple of weeks later, I started to be like kind of feel off. And I remember Todd McClellan, who was the head coach in San Jose, was like, I think he called me in to watch some videos or something. He kind of asked me how I was feeling because he was like, "You're kind of like, don't look like yourself, or you look foggy, or you look kind of." He might have said like slow motion. I mean, I was in slow motion anyway half the time, but he was like, "You really?" And then I watched myself on video, and I was like, "Jesus!" Like, I'm kind of lost. I was kind of, so it was interesting how it kind of, didn't really know what was going on, but I kind of felt a couple of weeks later that I was kind of like, a little bit out of it, and and then they kind of, I kind of got over it, and it just seemed like it was taking less blows. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It was taking less impact and less blows to the head to kind of get a concussion or get effects of a concussion. And that's probably really when I started to worry a little bit, when it was kind of, because I felt like I was taking a lot harder smacks before and felt fine, but then it was kind of taking less impact, and then you kind of worry a little bit.
Like you're bumping into somebody in fucking practice and you're dizzy afterwards. You're like, God, like what? Like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many little incidental contact and in practice, and you're like, fuck, why am I dizzy after this?
I'm watching a video today though, Ryan, and you can tell me if you got a concussion on this play. I think they said during the broadcast that you did, but it looked like a relatively innocent bump with you and Alexander Steen. He kind of reversed you. It was near the wall, but it wasn't on the boards, whatever. And then you left the ice, and I don't know if you came back in that game or when you came back next, but like, did you get a concussion on that play? Because it's kind of similar to what Cam's talking about right now.
I never played another shift after that, actually, in the NHL, which is kind of, it's still kind of surreal and it's upsetting, but it was. I actually went to hit Alex Steen, which is the funny part. I think I was trying to hit him, and he just kind of counter, like he liked to do. I think he just counter hit me with his shoulder, or maybe caught me with a shoulder and elbow, and again it just square, like whatever way it hit me, it just kind of dazed me, and I kind of got. At that stage, I kind of knew right away because I've been through it that, shit, like this is not good again. And, I just remember, the only thing I remember was going in St. Louis, lying down in the training room and kind of opening my eyes and looking up, and Lou Lamoriello was standing right over me. And I remember thinking, shit, like, did he jump across the ice? Like, how did he get down here so quick? Like, you know how Lou is, so he's right there, always looking after you. So that was kind of went through that scenario, and that was kind of the last one, and haven't played since. So,
well, anytime you wake up and you see Lou's face, it's like something's going on. I mean, fuck, there's no reason why fucking Lou's looking at you. So, exactly. real quick though, like, explain the worst of the worst when it comes to concussions for people to know. Like, explain like the darkness, and also explain like if some of these kids that are listening and fathers and parents listening right now, because they do. Like, what are some of the easy symptoms that you would know that when you had a concussion?
Yeah, and I think, the one thing about concussions is the symptoms do kind of vary, but, I think the one thing that for me was obviously the dizziness early on, like the dizziness and the lack of concentration or focus was something that I didn't know earlier in my career if something happened, but later been through it. I had a good feel for, okay, this is not right. And then, like for me personally, I had a lot of, and I think I actually talked to Sidney Crosby about this as well, because I know he went through where he had a lot of neck issues, and I was getting a lot of neck problems, and I was getting a lot, really, really intense pain behind my eyes, and it's very hard to describe. It was almost like I don't know, almost like knives digging into the back of my eyes, and it was very, very painful. Like even when I came back playing, I remember in New Jersey, like I was, I nursed myself back, but I felt in good health. I was skating, I pushed myself hard, and I started playing games. Even after games, when I didn't get hit hard, or like even driving the way home, there was times when I remember, shit, like my eyes are just ready to explode here. Like everything was so tight, but to me, when it comes to concussions, it's hard to, even the little symptoms, it's easy to ignore. So you just got to be aware of that, and even if it means taking a couple of days, like a couple of days off, just to kind of reset again, you just don't want to kind of drive yourself and push yourself through it. I still now, like, when I feel a migraine come on, there's just nothing I can do. I can take whatever. It just doesn't matter if I feel a migraine coming on to this day. It puts me down. It'll put me down for a full day or two. And the one thing about concussions, and for me when I was retired, is it's kind of, you get the twofold, because you get the concussions, you're dealing with that, and then you're dealing with either not playing or the possibility of your career being over. So it was a couple of years, and to be honest, there's still days where you there's still days where you struggle with it. And I there was a couple of years there when I was done playing in New Jersey. It was hard. It was extremely hard. I mean, I wasn't fully recovered and I wasn't playing, but I wanted to get back playing, but I didn't want to go through all that again. And it was just it was an emotional roller coaster that, still at times is there. It's getting better now as you get older, but, and the effects I can still feel. I was coaching in Newfoundland after New Jersey, and I had to resign because it was still I couldn't really do it. I would just
because what? Because are you standing on the bench and you're like, I can't. I'm too dizzy. Or you can't do it. Or even watching video, like all that combined.
Yeah, it was more just honestly. Because I did it in Jersey. I love coaching. I did it 2 years in Jersey. Yeah. I missed some practices with migraines, but it was fine. I recover. And I watched video, but overall, I felt really good. That's kind of why I took that job. But then I just started, I don't know if it was the travel. I was getting really bad headaches. I was taking these pills to try to make the kind of migraines go away. And it was kind of making me really exhausted and tired. And so I was trying to coach games and be focused. And it was really hard. I just basically said, I'm pushing myself here. It's just not worth it. I retired from hockey. I don't need to push myself through this.
What pills were you taking though?
I honestly, I can't. I forget what they were. They were the funny thing is, my assistant coach, his wife has bad migraines. He's like, these really help her. So I was like, okay, well, you know what, I'm going to try these. And then they were making me really groggy and almost like sleepy. I was like, so I tried that and they didn't really work that well. And so it was, and then, I kind of, again, the last year and a half, I've kind of felt better again, and you kind of get out of it and starting to feel good. And it's just it's a little bit scary because every time you think about kind of diving back in, it's always in the back of your mind. So you try to live your life and do what you need to do, but it's kind of always on the back burner. And still have side effects, still have days where it's, like I said, a migraine comes on or whatever, eye pain and neck pain, but overall, right now, it feels like there's more good days than bad.
Good. All right, so you signed your 5-year contract, though, with Jersey. And the season before that, you had some injuries, you had some concussions, and I know a lot of people were surprised that Jersey, handed you over the long-term contract. Were you shocked to get that contract offer from Lou and the Devils? And what did you have to do to prove that you were healthy and it was going to be a good investment for the Devils?
Yeah, you're right. I came back from I went to New York and actually had a really good stint in it, besides the fact that right before the playoffs, again, got injured, and I didn't get to finish the playoffs, so I wasn't sure. So I waited that summer. I kind of took time off, tried to recover before I started to work out again. Then I went to a couple of doctors to make sure that, I went through the proper protocol to make sure teams knew that, hey, this guy's actually cleared to play and he can play. So I went through that. I think I had maybe, 2, 3, 4 teams that were all offering within the 1 to 2 year range. And I was kind of thinking about it. And then Lou kind of came in and with his offer in New Jersey, and how Lou, you don't really hear anything from. He just basically, he called. I've never talked to Lou before. I don't think my agent really knew that New Jersey were interested. And then I was like, kind of bang, bang, and here's the offer. And I was like, okay, well, obviously at that stage, you're getting the 1 or 2 year deal, and the team offers you 5 years. And I was looking forward to honestly, you hear some stories about New Jersey, but I was really looking forward to, because I do I believe in the strong culture and doing your business a certain way. So, I was really, and that's one of the fortunate things. I really wish I could have done more for what, I really got a ton of respect for Lou, and wish I could have brought more to the Devils than I did during my time, because I really wanted to, succeed and reward him for that contract. But, it didn't work out that way, but I still love my time there.
All right. So you said when you had the collision with Steen, and that was the last shift you ever took in your NHL career, Ryan, that's crazy. How vivid is that memory, of you leaving the ice? And then what's it like, man, just not being able to play when you have a contract and you can't fulfill your end of the bargain because of injury? I mean, a situation that you can't control. What's that like, man? Was that difficult for you from a mental standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, the first part of your question, when it was in St. Louis, I think we flew to Detroit after the game. I had a good idea. I was like, you know what, this is going to be. I kind of went through this a bunch of times, and I fought pretty hard. Even that year, I believe, I went through a lot to try to make sure, hey, the doctors and everyone made sure I was good to play and I was cleared to play. And like I really fought the fact that, hey, I'm healthy and I want to play. And so I knew at that stage it was going to be a challenge. And the other part, I was in such a, I didn't feel real good. I was in such a bad spot that I was like, okay, I'm going to have to recover and get back and go through all this again, And then that was probably the only time I really started thinking about my long term. As far as like, hey, like if this happens again, like where am I going? Am I going to be kind of, stuck in my house and not be able to do anything for the rest of my life and stuck in a dark cave? And like I was extremely worried at that stage. So so at that point, yeah, that's kind of where that was. And then it's like I talked about earlier. That's the one part of it. The other part is you have no obligation, and you got a contract that's a lucrative contract, and you sign them, you make an impact and help the team. And that was really hard. I mean, there's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of, just the fact that you put a lot of pressure on yourself and you're not able to fulfill that contract. And there's so many things that, I wanted to do, and I still love to play the game. And, you really feel like you're letting a lot of people down, and that doesn't sit well with most people and takes a toll on them. And that's really where it was. I was kind of going through concussions, but also, your career is possibly over. And that's a kind of a double-edged sword that really, really takes time, I guess, to heal. And, you still got many days where you think about it. And it was a challenging time.
Well, you got to think too, though, like Lou doesn't do that much, right? Like he doesn't just throw contracts out. I mean, he's had so many guys he's battled with contracts and things like that. For him to be able to do that for you, like it says a lot, man. Like for a Lou Lamoriello to do that, and not to mention, dude, like you got hurt because of concussions. Like you weren't just a flop, like, or you were overweight or whatever the fuck it is. You got concussed, man. But on the other end, right now, are you good? Like if you could chill and relax and get your mind right and go see people in Vancouver for head injuries or whatever the case is, and you can spend a little bit of money, are you good to go? Are you settled in and kind of well off enough to where you're not too worried?
Yeah. I mean, if you're right about Lou. I mean, that was something that, talking to him afterwards, like I said, New Jersey kind of came out of the blue, and they're not a team we expected that were going to be interested. And then I think they were losing Clarkson that summer. They just lost Coach Chuck. And from my understanding, was Lou really thought the leadership of the group needed a kind of tweak. So that's kind of where a bit of it. And he did his homework. Like, how does he know Lou? He's talking to other people who are saying, yeah, Lou called me about you, or Lou, I remember him saying how much video he watched, and it kind of was like, okay, this guy does his homework. So good feeling. And he was, as you know, he's to me, he's one of the best people in hockey, and I have so much respect for him. But he was great. And then, I've had an opportunity to go some places, and you're right. Like, I feel very fortunate financially that you can, you're dealing with some of these issues, but at least you can try to rectify them or kind of improve. And, I've been to Orlando with some doctors. I've been to Boston. And so, it's not like it's just kind of, I've tried to do things that are going to help me, and you just try to find the comfort zone that works for you. And, but I'm definitely fortunate and feel, in that area that I can actually, help myself and improve.
Time to talk about our boy, Dan Bellman. Ooh. Bellman.com. That's with two N's, not one. BEHLMANN.com. Hey, check out the new inventory. Check out the pre-owned vehicles. You looking for a Chrysler, a Dodge, a Jeep, a Ram? How about a Cadillac or a Buick GMC? All in Troy, Missouri. Get your new wheels in time for the winter. Now back to the interview. Did you like coaching? Like, was that something that you said, like, because you guys had a great record, man. You had, I think, you had them like, third overall in the league. I know it was down on the coast, but still, man, you have to have your team prepared and whatever. Right. So did you like coaching? Did you feel like maybe this is something you could do long term? And then, when you told, Kyle Dubas that, hey, man, this isn't going to work out, you're just not healthy enough to do it, didn't he reassign you in the organization? Like, do you have opportunities to go work with a team or with Toronto if you wanted to? Like, what's the future hold for you?
We'll
hire you. Yeah. No, I did. Like, honestly, to be honest with you, during the lockout year, I believe it was, the 13, 14, that lockout, whatever year it was there. Mm-hmm. I went and coached I went and skated with the ECHL team in San Francisco when I was with San Jose, and the coach, I ended up like kind of coming on the ice, started to come behind the bench a little bit, and by the end of it, he had me running like special teams meetings, and I was like, so I kind of got a little bit of the itch for coaching, and once I was done, I was like, I'm not ready for this now. Obviously, I still love to play, but when I'm done, it was something in the back of my mind. And then I was lucky enough in San Jose that John Hines gave me an opportunity when I was done playing. And, it was such a great experience. We had a great staff, and he's still a guy that one of my closest friends now, great guy in Nashville. He's coaching now, but he gave me a great opportunity there in New Jersey, and I really fell in love with it. That's the reason I did take the job at home. And I know a lot of people were like, why would you leave the NHL job? And I was like, well, I'm not coaching for, obviously I'm not coaching for the financial side of it. I'm coaching because if I'm going to do this, I want to do it right. So I thought that was a good opportunity to work with the Leafs organization, and it was going really well. I really enjoyed it. They actually went on to win the championship that year as an expansion team. And, but it was something that, I don't know where it's going to go in the future. And to answer the other part of your question, I definitely want to stay involved in some regard, whether it's in the, front office, administration area, or back in coaching. We got to see what the opportunities are. And I did do some things for the Leafs after I stayed involved with Toronto, and they were outstanding. Kyle Dubas treated me, outstanding during this whole thing, and it wasn't an easy situation to put him in, but it worked out great for them. Obviously, they won, but I still talk to them and to the organization, and obviously with this COVID whole thing going on. But afterwards, we talked about possibly trying to work something out. So whether that's going to be now or in the upcoming summer, we'll see. There's always some opportunities. So just something that works out and fits right. And besides that, I'm happy with what I'm doing now, which is not much, to be honest with you. But
that's what don't do anything and kick your fucking feet up and golf and fucking chill and go on the goddamn beach, dude.
You have kids and stuff or no?
Yeah, I got 2 kids, and like I said, we're in Florida, and it's a good setup. Great winters, they love it, and I've done that. I've done that basically the last year and a half. But I'm 38, so you still get the itch to at least try to stay involved and try to make an impact in some way. So I think I will if the right opportunity comes.
Nah, okay, never mind. No, you need to golf and kick your feet up on the goddamn beach and just chill. And seriously, take my advice. You know how that goes. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on. You're the man. You're a great teammate. And I was thinking about you the other day, and I'm like, we got to get you on. So I appreciate everything. And we all know the concussion shit, man. It's just
a lot of respect for your game.
Dude. You did your thing, and enjoy yourself, and keep in touch with me, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on, and great to know that you guys are doing well and everything's successful, and it's great to hear. And good talking again, Jenny. I love playing with you, bud.
Man, you too, buddy. We'll talk soon, buddy. Right on.
Okay. All right.
Take care, Ryan. Bye. That was Ryane Clowe. Can you spell Ryan?
R-Y-A. Fuck you.
It has an E at the end.
Why would you ask me that?
R-Y-A-N-E. It's not R-Y-A-N. I think that's a great spelling.
Cool.
I think that's a great spelling. Would he have made the NHL without the E at the end? Honestly, does it?
No. Hell no.
No chance of that.
Not being 6'4".
He's a cool ass dude, man.
He's a great guy, man. Awesome. Newfie?
Noof. He doesn't like
Newfie.
Remember?
It's like you're a rookie.
Yeah, I just don't think he likes that. Like, I get careful. That's why I always ask, and that's why I asked him on the podcast, like, because I don't want to be offensive.
What's he call you, fancy lad?
I don't know, Stricky.
Are you offended by that?
Strick nasty.
The fancy lad from Ladue? Anyway, he's a great guy, man.
People send me messages. I think it's hilarious. They're like, hey, are you, like, I'll put a picture with my family, and somebody will post, like, are you in the poor part of Ladue?
See what I start?
I'm like, I'm 20 minutes outside. 20 minutes outside.
The poor part of Ladue.
Oh, yeah. I get that all the time now. It's hilarious.
Never going to end. That's never going to end ever in your life.
Who I'm like friends with, probably who like may not listen to the podcast, and they're probably like, what is going on? Who is chirping me like that?
Like these fucking Canadian boys are chirping the
fuck. Oh, yeah, they are.
But they don't give a Canadians are the best. They don't give a fuck, dude.
We got to have our province rankings. Like, I mean, you put Saskatchewan number 1. It could change
Saskatchewan.
Weekly.
No,
we could feature a different province every single show.
Man. The British Columbian cats, the Quebec boys.
I love BC.
The Newfies now with fucking Chloe and the boys up there.
The wife and I went up to Whistler for our 10-year anniversary last summer. Not this past summer, but the summer
with the
before.
Kids?
No kids.
Yeah, you can't take them.
We went to Vancouver. And then we were up in, stayed there a couple of nights. Stayed there a couple of nights.
20 fucking G's in Vancouver.
And then we were, oh my God, it's so expensive.
Without even partying.
Dude,
spend that money.
My wife loved Vancouver. But see, everywhere,
go live there then.
Everywhere was so expensive then. Then we drove up to Whistler. Love Whistler.
So nice, dude.
And then we drove down and hung out in Seattle for a couple nights. Seattle's a cool ass city too.
Hey, you should go to.
Okay, what are you doing? So you're not supposed to be chewing during the show.
I'm not.
Remember
You should go to.
No, we talked about this.
Andy, stop. You should go to Chaz in Portland, Oregon. This place called Chaz. It's so beautiful. It's so gorgeous.
I love Portland.
Yeah, go to Chaz.
What's Chaz?
This shows his ignorance. I'm looking at my engineer.
Chaz is the guy you hung out with when you were a kid.
Yeah, I want to kill him. And now there's a town, and it's even worse than the fucking dipshit that I fucking hung out with.
Is that a candidate?
No. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
No, you never heard of Chaz, Oregon?
I've heard of like.
You've never heard of Chaz, Oregon?
No, I've hung out down on like the
It's all the psychopaths that
Coast.
recreated a little fucking center
I don't
in
hang
Portland.
out there. Is that where all the Antifa hangs out?
Yes.
Okay, no.
That's where you need to go. It's beautiful, Andy.
Listen, I'm nonpartisan. I don't like,
Near am I.
The people who are too hardcore on both sides freak me out.
If you're
hardcore on the left or hardcore on the right, something's
Me too. You're both fucked.
Yeah,
That's why Chaz is there, Andy. So go move there with the kids.
No, I don't want to be there.
I'm just joking.
I don't want to be.
It's a shithole.
Yeah,
I'm just joking.
No, but Portland's a great city.
I like how you didn't know who Chaz was.
No,
That's funny,
I don't pay attention to that. But
Portland's
a great city. My buddy Kerry Preet is buying the Portland Winterhawks. We'll give him a shout out.
Well, they got to clean the town up
Mount
first.
Hood up in Oregon is absolutely beautiful.
Cool. Clean your fucking town up first.
Eugene, where the University of Oregon is, it's a beautiful state.
So
dude.
Cool.
And the Gold Coast is beautiful. I got
beautiful.
you, Oregon.
Yeah, cool. Clean your fucking town up first and get Chaz the fuck out of there before Andy moves in.
It's a state. It's not a town.
Yeah,
Portland is a city.
No, Portland's a city with a piece of shit city in between the city that's getting fucked. And no one wants to move there and everybody's moving out. So clean your shit up. That's all. I love it up there. It's beautiful. Clean your fucking shit up. That's it. Hey, St. Louis, you should do the same thing.
Well, exactly.
No doubt about it.
People who live in Portland are like, where are you from, dude?
Who are you kidding, Cam?
Who you talking?
What do you think I live 40 miles away from St. Louis for? No shit. We're all complaining. We're in St. Louis right now. Like, we get it. We get it. Just clean the fucking shit up. Let's go. It's all good.
Ryane Clowe. Yeah, it's terrible. His career ended. How about the fact that, the play that ended his career, it was kind of an innocent reverse hit from Alexander Steen.
Yeah.
But you know this. It's not always the most devastating looking hits, the hardest hits. Sometimes it's where it catches you, especially if you're susceptible because you have, concussion history.
Andy, I remember getting hit and I got rocked a couple times, but then a couple times I'd go down the forecheck. Like, I'm going to motherfuck this motherfucker up, and I catch him and I get my timing down, and he sees me at the last second, and he sticks that big shoulder right in my fucking chin, and I hit him like, bam, and I'm like, where am I? Where am I? And it's not a big collision. It doesn't even look bad, but I'm so fucked up that it fucks me up for 2 weeks afterwards, and no one even knows, but I hide it. Like, those are the hits that fucked me up.
Brody will put that video out, so look for that on our Instagram.
Me getting knocked out?
No. And he skated back to the bench, went down the tunnel.
Yeah.
It was in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And he never played another shift in his NHL career.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
It gets you bad. Yep, it gets you bad. The point is, like, you some of the big hits that you get rocked, you're like, okay, I took that good, but sometimes you hit a guy and it fucks you up more than anything, dude.
Yeah, so all the best to Ryane Clowe, man. We appreciate him coming on, and enjoy your fishing and doing everything else you're doing out there in Florida.
Fucking fisher, man. Florida, he's in Florida.
He's in Florida. Is
He's
that a fancy lad in Florida or no?
No, you're the only fancy lad I've met.
All right, listen, even if you're in Florida, Ryane Clowe, listen up. You need that car shield. I don't care what kind of car you're driving.
Shit.
You better get some car shield.
He's probably got a couple.
Carshield.com. Make sure you get that protection. And you need that protection. Carshield.com. Mention the promo code CAM. You're going to save 10%. I know it's hard, but you can do it.
Might get laid.
Really? Is that how it goes?
I don't know. Works in my house.
I mean, you're pretty confident with that.
Works in my house.
Andy. Oh, in your house. Yeah. What about outside the house?
You want me to
well, no, I'm talking about back in the day.
Can't that be monogamous?
Back in the day.
Back in the day. I mean, Jesus,
I've been reading.
Why would Kate doesn't listen to the podcast? No, Kate doesn't listen to the podcast. We're not getting into that.
I've been reading about the state of Utah. What goes on there, by the way?
Like, what do you mean?
Like with
Mormons?
Yeah.
Like banging each other or something?
You get like 8 wives, 9 wives.
Yeah, it's like being
polygamy.
It's like being over in Syria or something. Like you get the same thing.
We'll talk about that next podcast.
Yeah,
because it's interesting. It's an interesting way of life.
Well, you get your 72 virgins too if you want to.
Over there, and Park City's Utah's a beautiful state.
It's so gorgeous.
Moab, Utah. We can talk about Utah all day long. Yeah. Love Utah. All right, 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM. You'll save 10%. Carshield.com. How about Bud Light Seltzer? Get that delivered to your house and get it delivered today. Less than a gram of sugar. So when it doesn't have sugar, it doesn't give you what? Hangovers?
A hangover, dude. All that sugar gives you a fucking hangover, just like wine does. Yeah, no, I know.
Wine. I drank a lot of wine over the weekend. Yeah. Didn't feel too great in the morning.
No, you look like shit.
But I'm like, you buy an expensive bottle of wine because, it's the holidays, whatever. You want to take care of whoever's drinking.
15 bottle of Josh.
Oh, my wife loves the Josh. She likes the Josh Chardonnay, actually.
He's a goofy-looking bastard, that Josh.
Yeah, no, like Josh is not for cheap wine.
I don't know who Josh is, but it's a decent wine.
For cheap wine, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
But we took
that's
it.
what you
we
drink
took it a couple steps a little higher for the holidays, and we had plenty of Bud Light Seltzer also in stock, and nobody had hangovers unless they drank the wine.
Don't drink wine, baby.
I know.
Drink the seltzer.
So stick with the Bud Light Seltzer.
Mango.
You know all the flavors: black cherry, strawberry, lemon, lime, or mango. Baby. And you can get that variety pack. You can go hook up the cranberries and the pineapples and all those other good flavors.
Mix and match. All you got.
Mix and match. New Year's. No better way to celebrate the new year.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Everybody's like, Cam, what are you doing for fucking New Year's? Cam, what are you doing for New Year's? Cam, New Year's.
Nobody's asking you that because nobody can do anything.
And that's what I said to him. I go, stop asking me, dickwad. I ain't doing shit. Kate and I are going to get our minds right that night.
Are you?
And we might get freaky.
You guys want to come over? We have to invite you guys over.
I don't want to. No. Did you not hear what I said?
Oh,
no.
I heard what you said.
It's going to be a weird Kate and Cam
night.
No,
it's not.
No, it is.
Okay, we don't need to hear about that.
No, we are.
No.
I'm getting fucked up. And Kate and I are going to make a fire, and we're going to get fucking weird together, and I'm going to do weird things to her.
Oh, my God.
And that's what the fuck we're going to do. No,
stop it. Necessary
No, wait. You think that I'm like, no, you think I'm joking. No. And this is what you need to have with your wife. Even if you have kids, like you got all your kids, send them away. Get fucking weird with your wife one night.
Yeah.
And then you crave it. And all of a sudden you're like, I got so weird with you that I did weird things to you, and you did weird things to me. Catch my fucking drift. Okay. Yeah. And no, listen to me.
No,
and your kids are gone. And so when your kids come back, it's like, okay, normal shit. We're not having sex.
Where are the kids
Stop
gonna go?
Go to your fucking grandma's house.
They can't. It's COVID.
Kick them out of the fucking house. They can stick up for themselves. Ty's 2 years old. He's good. But the point is, if you get weird with your wife one night a month, then you crave it the next month.
Oh, one night a month?
Listen to me. And so then all the heartache comes. The fucking kids are crazy and the bills and this and that. So I'm like, next Saturday, girl, it's me and you. And we're going to the Ritz-Carlton, and I'm fucking doing weird things to you.
Okay.
Licking that ass. No, I'm dead serious.
Oh, my God. I can't. You took it to the next level.
Well, whatever.
You took it to the next level.
She gets in the shower. She puts on a cute outfit. I'm fucking doing everything.
Oh, my God. You took it to the next
level.
I
don't give a shit.
Canada, I apologize on Cam's behalf that you're having to listen to this.
Wait, time out. The Canadians are like, what? You think those Canadian boys who I fucking message every goddamn day are like, Cam said that?
What's the age requirement for this episode?
I don't know, 13?
Oh, really? Some would say it's older than that for this particular
Are you playing juniors in Windsor?
Jeez.
Here's the point.
Bud
if
Light
you have a lovely
Seltzer.
wife, take care of her. That's it.
Yeah, Bud Light Seltzer,
God
baby.
damn.
All right, keep it handsome. And Bud Light Seltzer, they'll deliver it to you, budlight.com. Unquestionably good, less than a gram of sugar, 100 calories, all that type of stuff. And they got the best flavors, and you'll feel good in the morning.
Yeah.
You'll feel good in the morning. So, you guys all know what I'm talking about anyway.
With the wife.
And send us that picture. Hashtag chill zone. Send us that picture of you hanging out with your mango,
with the wife.
Baby. Not with the wife. Unless you're comfortable and you want to do that, feel free.
Hey, send that mug to me, dude.
If you,
I love it.
That's for a private message.
Send that fucking mug to me, dude.
Oh my God.
I love you guys, man.
Okay.
You know how it is.
Anyway,
they know.
keepithandsome.com. Keep it handsome. And get that Fight Ugly hoodie and get it today. Mention the promo code Cam and Strick. You're going to save 15%. 15%. Mention the promo code Cam and Strick. Get that Fight Ugly hoodie. Portions of the proceeds go benefit the Montreal Resource Center.
Dude, anti-bullying, man. That's what we do.
Anti-bullying.
The
Montreal Resource
Center. We
stick
up for fucking
people.
people.
Yes, we do.
We stick up for people. But if there's a boy that got fucking bullshit about their dad and he's a boy in high school,
do you know I read
we gotta help them.
Do you know I read?
We gotta help them too, Andy.
A lot of people who are bullies once were bullied.
No shit, dude.
Yeah.
Look,
I read during my downtime. I don't know.
You don't read no
You're
good.
playing like video games or whatever you're doing. I don't know what you're doing.
I host a radio show every single day. What do you do?
For 1 hour, that sounds.
Oh, yeah. What do you do?
That's
I got a 2-hour radio show. I got a guy who wants me to do 2 hours every fucking day. I get so much shit. I can't deal with it. But the point is, keep your family happy, man.
Yes.
Like whatever it is.
That's
if
right.
you and your wife have to have a getaway, I don't mean to be like so. I didn't mean to say lick the ass stuff, but although my wife has a beautiful ass,
Yeah,
so
but
it's
you need to take your own advice. You guys need to get away and take a vacation.
We're not even going away. I'll get the cat and I'll boot her on the fucking basement, and then I'll be like, girl, that ass is mine.
You don't want the cat in the room?
Oh God, she stares at me.
Yeah,
I can't deal with.
No, you can't have that.
God,
okay,
boo-boo.
all right. So anyway, the Keep It Handsome. Yeah, portions of the proceeds go. They benefit the Montreal Resource Center. We love everything they do in Montreal. We love Montreal. We love Quebec. We love all of Quebec. Now, you don't have to be from Quebec to get this hoodie. If you're in the States, get the hoodie. Cam and Strick, keepithandsome.com.
Yeah.
Promo code Cam and Strick.
Yeah, all good.
Get the hoodie and get it today and send us a picture of you wearing the hoodie. And we're collaborating, by the way, with Keep It Handsome. We're going to have some sick-ass hats coming out very soon, too.
Damn right.
So look for those. Couldn't have them in time for Christmas, but it's all good. We'll have them here in the early portion of 2021 coming up very soon. So keepithandsome.com. Love our partnership with our boys over there, Mirko and Company.
Awesome
with
people.
keepithandsome.com.
Great company, great charity. God, we've all been bullied, man. That's what it is.
Okay, can we talk about the Canadips real quick?
Yeah.
All right, listen, the Quit Chew Challenge with Canadips. www.canadipscbd.com. Now, we're starting this on January 1st.
Yep.
And we're getting Cam to quit chew. Now, all the chewers out there, check this out. We want you to do it with us. We want you to quit the chew with us. Because at the end of the day...
idiot. With me.
With you, sorry. Because I don't get into that. You know, at the end of the day, like, chew is so...
Yeah, what? Tell me how bad I am.
Like,
go ahead.
Well, it's like ahead. 30 years ago. It's gross.
I mean, if you were playing hockey...
It's messy.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. I became a man.
Okay, but here's the deal.
Yeah.
With Canadips, there's no reason to even chew real chew.
Can I talk?
Yeah, you can.
Can I talk now?
Go.
I started chewing at like 12, 13 years old. Playing AAA hockey.
Give us the short version here. Go.
I started chewing at like 12, 13 years old, and I just did it because like the older guys in the locker room.
Yeah, you wanted to be cool.
I just got addicted to it, man. So I went through Kodiak, which tore my shit up so bad. And it's like fucking bleeding out of my gums. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So I went to Grizzly, and anytime I do so we do so much shit, Andy, where me and you are at a place with like Tom Stillman, the blues owner.
And you got a big fat dip in your lip. You got to stop doing that.
No one ever hired me for anything. I'm such a piece of fuck. A Hoosier from Eureka, Missouri. I got chew in my fucking mouth. I look like a jackass.
Okay.
Listen to me. It's in my teeth. Kate is used to it, but you know, I smile.
Are you addicted? Addicted?
Are you fucking nuts?
It's addictive.
You think?
It's addictive. It's messy. It's also over 100 years old. You got to get in with the times, honestly, and be healthy. Canadips CBD is the new evolution in dip, okay? So they allow guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without any of the downsides. That's what you get with the Canadips. There's no downsides. www.canadipscbd.com. It's open 24/7.
Can I talk real quick? So anyway, it gets stuck in my goddamn teeth.
And sounds terrible.
Even if I do a Facebook post with Kate and I got shit in my fucking teeth, it should get like, like 200 likes, but still gets like 1,500 likes, which is fine. But I got fucking chew in my teeth. And it's such Hoosier. It tears my teeth up. Mm-hmm. It tears my fucking gums up. I show Kate my gums. She's like, oh God.
Okay.
No, my point is, this stuff is so easy to deal with, and it still gives you that buzz. And all you guys that are addicted, and Andy's going to keep going, but all you guys, all you Canadian boys, all you boys out fucking west, all you boys out east that are still chewing like I am, try this shit, man. It mellows you out a little bit. I'm a fucking psycho.
But for the Americans too, man, for sure.
I'm not done talking.
You got to try this as well. By the way, there's 5 flavors, Cam. 5 flavors.
I know. But I put this stuff in my mouth, and it actually mellows me down. Now, do I do this full time right now?
You're trying.
Yet. I'm trying. I still have to put the fucking Grizzly in my mouth, and Kate knows. She's like, why is it Grizzly?
No, it's baby steps, man.
It's stuck in my fucking teeth. Like, it's a baby step, but it does help. I put 2 pouches in my upper lip, and I chill, and you could swallow it, which Andy knows exactly how that goes.
Spit free.
And it's spit free, but the point is, it mellows you out.
Is it spit free or you don't have to spit?
No,
you don't have to spit. It comes in 5 flavors: wintergreen,
God for you.
mint, citrus, American spice. I really like the American spice. I like all of these, but I like the American spice. And they also have mango. It comes in mango.
They got mango.
Which is perfect for what we're doing. They got mango. So, again, 100% American-grown hemp, and they've found a way, I don't know how they did it, to deliver CBD through the mouth that no one else has. You can actually enjoy it. They use a coconut fiber. And this is what you need to know. Coconut fiber, all other natural ingredients in their formulation that they've been able to do this. So check it out, www.cannadipscbd.com. Jump on board with Cam. We're trying to get Cam to quit chew. You can do it with us starting January 1st, your New Year's resolution. So order it today so you can have it. www.cannadipscbd.com.
Here's
Find
a
the
fucking
flavor
deal.
you like. Yep.
Here's a fucking deal, all you cats. I've been chewing since I was 12 years old. I need to stop. I need to live a long time for my wife. Like, she worries about me, and she's worried about my fucking chew.
Well, yeah.
And
we found something
that's
going to help
I'm not done talking. And she's worried about me, guys. And it's in my fucking mouth. I do pictures. I do fucking TV shit. Andy does it. If Andy's white-ass teeth, I do pictures of Andy, and he smiles, and I hate it because his teeth are so fucking white, and mine are so fucking not white. And it's getting embarrassing. I don't like it. But this Can of Dips, honestly, it's helping me. I'm not there yet. I'm getting there, but it's working. So check it out.
Okay. No,
is that good?
No, I like that.
Is that good?
Yeah. Can
Am I too much?
CBD.com.
Motherfucker.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just stop chewing and be healthy.
Oh, it's so easy.
Messy.
Oh, it's so easy for you. I love how non-addicts tell addicts what to fucking do.
It went out
it's so cool.
It's so old.
I love it.
It's so old.
I love it.
Do something that's healthy.
Hey, non-addict, tell me how to live an addict life, non-addict, you fuck.
You non-addict.
All you fucking guys that think you know your shit. You don't know shit. And that's why I'm with all the guys that get what I'm saying here, okay?
Okay.
Andy doesn't know shit.
Okay.
I do.
You know who does?
Stop doing it. Stop doing it.
You know who does know?
What?
Dan Bellman knows.
Oh, God, he knows everything.
Okay. Bellman Automotive, Bellman.com. Check it out, Troy, Missouri. Check out the new inventory, the used inventory. Check it out online. They got the Cadillac, the Buick GMC on one side of the street. You can walk right across the street. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. They've got something for everybody. You want a four-wheel drive vehicle, you're looking for a convertible, something for the spring, something for the summer, man, they've got it all for you. And again, they will pay you good money for your used car. So check that out, Bellman Automotive, Bellman.com. We have the Cam and Strick hats that are available right now, www.camandstrick.com. Just click on the tab. You can shop. You can find all the different colors. Get yourself a hat. We'll get it out to you right away, and you can get the Cam and Strick style. You can have a little hat, to kind of walk around and show it off.
Look cool like me.
And again, we're collaborated with our boys over there at Victor Hockey.
Damn right.
At Victor Hockey USA on Twitter and Instagram. VictorHockey.com is the website. So be sure to check that out. With Victor Hockey, we appreciate everything they're doing with us here on the Cam and Strick Podcast. All right, this has been episode number 101 with Ryane with an E, Clowe.
With an E.
On the Cam and Strick Podcast.